this day VCS action. It seems like there are
Hello.
severe audio issues at the venue. Yeah, I can hear you.
I can.
Hello.
We are transitioned over now. Sorry, no one would have been able to hear you, I don't think. My headset died right as we were going to start our show. Literally, as I hit the button, my headset decided to run out of battery. So,
Nice.
truly a cursed day of production. As you were saying, there does seem to be some fairly serious technical issues at the venue, as we did have a half-hour delay on the start, and now we have the infamous VCS starting soon screen. But that gives us a chance to have a chat about the games that we're going to be seeing. We will be starting with FTV versus EVOS. FTV. Can they do anything?
Series.
Do they have a chance?
Can they win the first game of the season? Not likely.
Yeah.
I just checked predictions for today, and the first series I think has the only unanimous prediction so far. Everyone is predicting 2-0 for EVOS, and I mean, you should. There's absolutely no reason to go for anything else.
You're inting pretty hard if you pick them to win a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to put it out there. Looking ahead in the predictions while we're talking about them, someone has their FTV taking a game off Gum, which is one of the most bold predictions I've ever seen.
I like it.
That said, that is an easy way to get a point ahead if it happens, because no one else is predicting that.
Also, like the mini brain award should be given out to the person who did that, if it comes to reality, because that is some big brain power.
That is some hope. But we will focus on the current series. I mean, is there a world where FTV can win the series?
So as always, I checked all the stats before for both of the teams, and there has been a little bit of an improvement for FTV's early game stats. They went into week 3 with a minus 2,000 gold on average at 15 minutes. After week 3, they are now sitting at minus 1,400. So that means they had on average far less than 2k gold of a deficit, because they only played 2 games, if I remember correctly. So FTV's early games have been looking, a little bit better. So that's a good start. Of course, the mid game is still a mess, and all the laners are still on average very far behind. Especially mid lane is actually a big problem.
Really?
And bot lane as well. Victory is on average 17.4 CS down at 15 minutes. So he's struggling to keep in CS 500 gold down individually to his lane opponent as well. Which is not a good sign, because mid lane is a very crucial role, of course. Yeah. So
that it absolutely is. It's been a very hard split for FTV, for sure. Can't see them picking up too much. Of course, we do have a few little things in store for their game tomorrow, but we'll have to wait and see. So that'll be a fun one. But EVOS needs to kind of smash to show that they're a challenger.
Yeah, the FTV match for EVOS comes in a very good time for them, because they come off a very hard, difficult week for them, where they lost an important matchup against Secret with Hani. So a matchup they should have won, that could have propelled them into great standings. Winning against Secret with the worsened lineup would have given them a good start, but they lost to them. So now they need to recover, and they play a very important second match this week. So this one against FTV needs to be a recovery match where they get back on track, where they show us what they can do in the new meta. We talked yesterday in the Everybody episode about Zorn and potential jungle meta for Zorn and his farming junglers Karthus, Graves, and Nidalee.
Yeah.
So I really hope we see EVOS rejuvenated and smash FTV. I'm not siding with EVOS, but it would be good to see that for the league, because FTV, whatever they do, it's kind of already a done deal. I don't think they can do anything to get back into the playoff picture. So
that would be one of the most absurd turnarounds we've ever seen. If they were to get back in the playoff picture, I think at best they can play spoiler. And again, just putting it out there. We did talk about this in our podcast, the Everyway podcast that we record. Try and do it every few weeks, but sometimes we are sloppy. Yeah, you should go listen to that. About an hour of us rambling. Gotta love that. We always get to everything we want to talk about. We don't just run hopelessly over.
No, never.
Of course not. But yeah, I mean, it's a real shame that this is the series we have where there's tech issues, because there's not a lot to talk about here. I mean, we could touch on our second series, Flash versus Adonis, but again, how much is there to say? It should be a fairly easy Flash win.
Yeah, Adonis a little bit more of a challenge than FTV should be, but Flash should also be a little better than EVOS. So in terms of strength of the teams, this should just be like the first series, but higher quality. So both teams should be better. Adonis for sure can punish mistakes a little bit more. They are a better team compared to FTV. They are players maybe not that much better than FTV's players, but their coordination is for sure way better. So if Flash messes up a little bit too much in the mid game and the late game, maybe Adonis can sneak a game, but I don't really see it happening. I think Flash is too strong in lanes, and Adonis's laners are not good enough to keep up with them. So I expect Flash to smash lanes, maybe struggle a little bit in between 15 and 25 minutes, then close out the game towards 30 minutes. Yeah, that would be my expectation for the second series.
Yeah, but that is potentially quite far away. As again, to fill in everyone about what's going on, there is apparently quite serious tech issues at the venue. We would love to tell you how long it's going to be, but we have no idea. These pauses have ranged from anything. Right? Yep. These pauses have ranged from anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours in the VCS past. Really hoping not for a 2-hour one. That really ruined my Friday night. But
yeah, the latter would be rough, especially because it's already getting quite late in Vietnam as well. So the first match starts at 5 p.m. If we start an hour or two later, at 7 p.m., and that's a 3-game series, which is not likely, but could still happen, right? We might get into very late territory for the players, which is not great, especially because some of the players have to play tomorrow again. FTV has to play against GAM. So if they have to wait today on stage and then lose a 2-0, they will be even more demoralized.
It's not a good situation by any means. But we have hope. Hopefully things will get started off soon enough. So what else can we sort of touch on while we're filling time here a little bit before we just go back to music?
So I think a few interesting things just for people who follow other leagues as well. Compare the VCS to the other leagues. VCS has now played 43 games, which means we have actually overtaken LEC and LCS. Of course, VCS plays more games per week than LCS or LEC. So now we have 3 games more, and with every week we'll get more games compared to them. Our average game time is at 31 minutes and 8 seconds, which is significantly lower than all the other major leagues. Yeah. So LEC, I think, sits at 34 and a few. LCS, 30 seconds more, and LCK is around the same. So we are at least 3 minutes faster than all the major regions, which is interesting to see. 29 kills per game, which is a little bit less than 1 kill per minute on average, which means we're at like 0.95, 0.96 combined kills per minute, which is not the highest we've ever been, but very high right now in the world average. Another interesting little stat, we have the shortest game so far is 21 minutes, 13 seconds GAM against Cerberus. GAM could potentially smash that record tomorrow.
I think GAM is very likely to play with their food a little.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm a little bit worried because I did make a bet not so much a bet as a bold statement that unfortunately someone screen capped. But that if FTV does win tomorrow, I'll eat a shoe. So GAM, please don't troll too much. Because...
We should actually get to Tinnican and tell him. So
no, don't! Knowing him, I mean, knowing some of the things GAM has done, I might end up doing it. I remember There's an infamous shoe eating saga in Counter-Strike, but
I think you've touched on that
I
before.
probably have.
I remember.
Yeah, Vince had a bad time.
Eating a shoe does not sound very nice.
Well, he didn't end up doing it because he went to a doctor and was like, okay, if I do this, will I die? And the doctor's like, you won't die, but you will be very, very sick. And so he ended up like eating really, really spicy chili, and then he got this like disgusting like liquid that you get, and it's like just designed to be as utterly disgusting as possible because you meant to put it on stuff that animals try and chew to try and teach them not to. It's like your dog chews it, it's really, really gross. Okay. And then so he like and he dropped like 5 drops of it on his tongue or something.
Poor guy.
Honestly,
poor guy.
He still gets shit about it though. He still gets told like, when are you eating the shoe? Didn't do it.
I mean, you have to consider your health as well. Yeah. Please don't eat the shoe if it's bad for your health.
Exactly.
Don't do that either, please.
don't kill yourself for a forfeit. Yeah, just to reiterate.
Not for FTV, please don't.
Yeah, Jesus. Just to reiterate for people in the chat who might be just coming up, we don't know when the games are going to start because there's tech issues. It's already 45 minutes late, and there's no timer.
Nope, we have the starting soon, which is worse than a timer because at least with a timer we would have known how long we have to wait. Now we just have no idea. That said, the timer in the past has been lying to us.
The timer is false. Well,
so. Oh, there is something happening. Oh, we might get into the games finally. There's the trailer.
There we go.
The official stream. So let's get hyped for some FTV action.
Oh, that's the worst, isn't it? You have this massive wait and you get FTV. Cool.
Yeah.
But we should be getting in a couple of minutes, as they just did. We'll go through the trailer. But yeah, do we have any specific sort of picks, lanes to watch in this first series?
So we expect this to be our first series on 10.3. If we are still on 10.2, I seriously have to question VCS's decision, but I expect this to be 10.3. And 10.3 brings some interesting changes. Of course, the jungle changes. Every camp gives more experience. We have seen the rise of Karthus. We have seen the rise of Yuumi in this patch. Yuumi is ridiculously broken. Soraka is still OP. Not picked very often in VCS. In fact, only once so far. Twice, I think, right? Yeah, Django played her as well. And he actually played a better Soraka than Kiaya. So
Kiaya played a very bad Soraka. Did not look
so
good.
Have the VCS teams now with one more week of practice finally adapted to the global meta of Soraka being utterly broken. I checked her stats yesterday, I think, and she's sitting on a 83% win rate over the course of 10.3 so far. So very strong champion. Please pick her up. And she fits we talked about this, or we discussed this yesterday a little bit on our podcast. Does Soraka fit the VCS style? My opinion still, yes. There are a lot of fights, and Soraka is great at team fighting, so why not just pick up Soraka and win all the team fights? If you fight anyway, that's a good solution, right?
Yep.
So,
yeah, the issue comes down to I think ego is a harsh word, but I can't think of a better one, of the top laners, where it's like, Soraka's fantastic in team fighting, but she doesn't get the kills. She just enables the rest of the team. So sometimes minor region, particularly VCS players, aren't necessarily open to having the impact taken out of their hand. But again, hopefully we will see that sort of fade, and we'll get, some Soraka. Yep. I'd love some Soraka. I mean, I'd love to see the Yuumi Soraka Olaf come out in the VCS. That would be a great time.
Yes. Gum tried it once, but they forgot to draft Olaf and then had Lee Sin. And Yuumi Soraka Lee Sin, there's something lacking there. Not quite.
Bit of a fail.
Also, they just threw early game a lot, so they played a very bad game. That game against Flash, second game against Flash. But yeah, in the end, Gum is still sitting in first place, 4 wins, 1 loss. Flash in second place with 3 wins, 1 loss. So in theory, Flash can tie Gum today if they 2-0. They are still 2 games behind. So Flash's record right now is 7-4. Gum is sitting at 9-2. The only 2 games Gum has lost actually are to Team Flash. So
Yeah.
even if Flash 2-0s, Gum is technically still in first place. Of course, they have the better game score difference. And game score goes over head-to-head, which makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it should.
So,
but yeah, I mean, again, this is just to plug us again. See, if you listen to the Everyway podcast, we actually go pretty in depth on playoff runs and who has chances. To sort of again focus back on today, because obviously Gum is not playing. Obviously we don't think FTV is going to win.
no.
Let's be totally real. FTV has had a very, very bad split. They've looked very, very bad. If they are to win, where does it come from?
So this actually ties into something I wanted to say about EVOS as well, because EVOS early game stats are not great either. They're actually only 300 gold higher on average at 15 mils. They are minus 1,167 gold on average. So their early game so far hasn't looked great. If Son is not carrying them on his J4, EVOS is struggling. So maybe FTV can get even better in the laning phase and then attack EVOS's weak point in the game, which is the early game. In terms of picks, I'd like to see FTV go back to On in the top lane. He's a super strong champ. We've seen him get high and high priority in all the regions, especially LCK is now on the On train, I think. I think we'll see a lot of On today in LEC. So please, VCS, pick On, pick a lot of On. FTV could start here with a very good scaling comp and rely on EVOS's bad early game to get to the later stages of the game. And then you still have Police, potential hard carry player, even though so far he has not shown up too much this split. Last split, we've seen him pentakill time and time again and carry FTV out of relegation zone. So would be a great place to start here. Pick late game, pick a good AD carry that can carry maybe 1v5 or something like that for Police, and then rely on your team fighting and see if you can win the game.
Yeah, I definitely think that is a good point. And I mean, you touched on it, you did mention it, and it's super obvious if you've been watching the EVOS games. Ban the J4, FTV. Ban it or pick it. You cannot let Sorn have this champion. He's been making a case to be best jungler so far of the split, which when you're talking about the VCS that has Levi in it, to say that he is potentially outperforming Levi is pretty ridiculous, and he's doing it pretty much just on Jarvan.
Yeah, he has 6 games of Jarvan already. They've played 10 games so far this season, and 6 of them have been on J4. 5 wins, all 5 wins for EVOS actually on the J4. So it's a crucial champ so far for EVOS. I don't expect it to be as high priority this patch as we talked about before. There are a lot of potential pickups for Sorn, but we'll have to see if EVOS can actually play the carry jungle style, because so far they've only won with him on heavy ganking champs, or the heavy ganking champ that is J4.
To be fair, Sorn historically, not so much this split, but historically has loved the farming junglers. So this patch should play right into his pocket. He loves the Graves, he loves the Nidalee, all of that kind of thing. So, I mean, yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't be even better on this patch. EVOS could potentially have a bit of a level up. We'll have to see. They can start that against FTV. It's not exactly the best measuring pole.
No.
Regardless.
And Sorn is actually in the top 5 of the best KDA players of the split so far. He's one of 2 players who are not on GAM, and Null and Sorn are there. No Flash player in the top 5, interestingly enough.
Flash has played some very messy game.
Yeah, for sure. It's DR1 in first place, then Levi, then Null, and Sorn in 4th place, ahead of Kiaya. So he has definitely had an outstanding split, and he has to keep up the level if he wants to carry EVOS to the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorn definitely, probably the most impressive. I mean, that's not even a probably the most impressive player, and pretty much the most important. We talk about throughout the VCS, most teams do have 1 or 2 players they rely on. Garm is probably like the only exception to that. that don't
Uh,
have to heavily play
you could
through one.
say you could say they rely on DR1 so far, because so far
True.
DR1 has looked great in every game. So we don't actually know how GAM
True.
looks like if DR1 has a bad game. But yeah, I see your point. They have a lot of great players in all the positions.
Yeah.
It's possible they can carry without DR1 performing outstandingly well. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. We'll have to potentially talk about that a little bit more when we have Gum playing, because the point I was making is that it's definitely going to be all eyes on Sorn, and obviously, as you said, police in the bot lane, the one to watch for FTV. I mean,
and police will actually face off against this former lane partner, and they built one of the strongest bot lanes in the VCS, one of my favorite bot lanes in the VCS last split, Police and B. B has kind of quietly been the second best player on EVOS and one very important player to the team as well. He has not actually gotten an MVP so far because every time he has had outstanding games, either Divkid got a pentakill or Son carried even harder. So he's not on our list so far, but he has had great games, and I think B is potentially he's in contention for best supporter of the split so far. Rono P a little bit more flashy games, and Palette is just very solid. CBL very solid as well, but B, in my opinion, shouldn't be overlooked as well for support contention.
yeah, I do agree, and I think apparently we have but one starting.
Surprising.
Yep, to say the least. That is a not what we expected over Hero or TH. I don't think I'm ever going to get used to calling him TH. Pretty
Yeah,
much
it's
going to
very
be
weird.
Hero Sky Split. Why?
So
Why do we think this has happened?
Hero sometimes can be a little bit too volatile. We've seen that in QG a lot. He was QG's best player a lot of the games. Sometimes Genza had outstanding performances, but whatever. He's not in the league anymore. So yeah, he had great games in his rookie split, last split, and he had some very good games this split already as well. But sometimes the volatility can hurt his team as well. And I think but one overall way higher, lower ceiling compared to Hero, but maybe a little bit of a higher floor, and maybe they want to play through Sorn and Parker. This actually indicates to me that Sorn will play a carry champ.
Just accidentally showed everyone the recording of the podcast, but ignore that as we are heading into Champion Select. We'll just switch over
Finally.
to see where things finally happen. Once again, I have to remember how to do production, and there we are. We're in Champ Select, and oh my god, I've got a not going well. And the bans are coming in, Jarvan and Blitzcrank being removed, as is the Rika special of Nocturne and the Elise taken out. Does anything immediately catch your eye as interesting, other than the Nocturne, which is just targeted directly at
J4
Rika?
ban, good to see. They want to target Sorn, which makes a lot of sense. We've talked about it. 5 games, 5 wins on J4, no win on any other champ. So makes a lot of sense to attack Sorn there. There's Soraka still open, and they first pick Set. That is very risky.
Yeah, that's super risky. Yep, I 100%.
And Aphelios is open as well. Wow. Okay. Yeah, FTV is already drafted. Looks like.
Yeah, this is super questionable. Banning the Blitzcrank and the Cassiopeia over Soraka and Aphelios. I don't know how I feel about that one. I feel like EVOS had a lot more room to sort of target ban with the Nocturne, that sort of thing, just because they're the better.
I think it's also a very bad sign for FTV that they don't go for the. That's very surprising, Haber. That's a very surprising lock-in. Interesting.
Hey?
But yeah. So my point was FTV has their star player in the bot lane, right? Police carried them to a lot of victories last season, and that they are not willing to first pick the most broken or one of the most broken champs on this patch, but still is Aphelios, for their star ADC is a very bad sign in my opinion. Also, so far, no Yumi, which is...
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest,
strange.
it's the VCS. They take a couple weeks to catch up on the meta, often. Maybe they haven't quite realised that Yumi is back to being busted. And we have the Graguo locked in here for Kuriko and victory.
Exciting.
Explosive.
So usually into Garagas Yasu, you want to play either or... Oh, no. Oh, man. It's but one turn. This draft is already a bit of a head scratcher. But yeah, usually for mid lane, you want to go with something that can dodge the ganks, which either is Ryze with Phase Rush, he can run away, or LeBlanc, who can just jump away. So one of the two champs I expect to come in for EVOS. You could also go with a very defensive approach like on mid lane or Lissandra if you want. I don't really see the on right now for EVOS because they would very much overclock or have too much AD damage on their side. They kind of need an AP source. Lissandra would be an interesting option to stop the engage from FTV. Actually, very good champ into all three of the enemy champs. So kind of want to see the Lissandra. I'm not sure if it's in Parker's wheelhouse right now. So maybe he'll just go back to Ryze or Orianna.
Yeah, I think Lissandra's one of those champions that every professional mid laner can probably play. She is a very stable pick, has been in the meta for a very long time. And it is the 80 carry pinch coming in by EVOS. Makes total sense, trying to push Police down. However, Lucian is still open.
Yeah, that's
Police's best tower.
Also,
best tower? What? Champion.
Tower. Caitlyn got a little buff on 10-3, another buff. Not sure if Police wants to go back to his Caitlyn because he had a very good Caitlyn as well. Police and Tiger still haven't picked up their bot lane. I am very, very unhappy with EVOS's bot lane priorities.
Yeah, this is very strange.
We could still see Ezreal Yuumi here. Ezreal Yuumi would give them a lot of scaling, a lot of safety in the bot lane, would give them a lot of time to play through the top lane and still scale in bot lane. But it seems like VCS is once again ignoring global trends and doing whatever they want. So
yep, doing their own thing. I think the Lucian makes a lot of sense for Police. I actually quite like this. As you were pointing out, it's not necessarily the strongest meta pick, but I think Braum Lucian is a great lane for FTV. That is locked in. Oh, 10.3 Akali.
No, 10.3 Akali is... I've heard multiple pro players on talk shows talk about 10.3 Akali being int, and luckily we don't see that. A very interesting last pick for EVOS. They see the enemy composition and decide to go with a Azir last pick. So very strong backline carries for EVOS with a very early game focused draft on top side. It's a little bit of a bridging draft now for EVOS. Not the biggest fan of frontline or tank Renekton, because in this game he can't really go heavily into AD. I think Renekton only really works if you can snowball him and he can one-shot enemies. But in this draft, he kind of has to provide a front line for his two carries. So imagine this draft with Ornn in the top lane. Suddenly it's a very good draft for EVOS.
I think the Azir is pretty good for disengage. The wall, I actually think, will get a lot of work done, pushing a Set and a Yasuo out. But it's execution-based, obviously, as we say pretty much every time we see an Ornn. I'm going to throw up our pause screen so I can... Don't worry, it's not an actual pause. But we can continue to talk.
Yeah, on the other side, FTV's comp strikes me as very odd. They have a very low range and a lot of champs that rely on just walking up to you. The only real engage here is Gragas throwing a great cask. By the way, we see a little bit of a change in the lineup with FTV as well. We have not actually touched on that because FTV brings players in positions that they don't belong in.
Don't make sense
all the time. Yeah, Kuriko is back to the jungle, which I like to see. I think he's a solid jungler. Not so much this season. Last season, he was potentially the second best player on the team in a lot of games. And then we have Tiger back in with his Braum. Braum, by the way, most played champ in the VCS. 23 picks, now 24.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too surprised. He's a super strong, but also fairly easy to execute champion. Just throw the shield up, and you're probably already doing a fair bit. And I mean, one thing to comment on here for EVOS, the Azir pick, we both thought it was a little bit weird, but with how low range FTV is, it'll actually get some work done.
Yeah.
It's hard to get onto him.
EVO's hard-won draft. Even though EVO's draft is not super great either, I don't like their top lane pick. I think with a tank in the top lane, their draft would just be insta-win. With Renekton, it's still a very, very highly favored in this draft. I think FTV's comp is too low range to it's very hard to execute this composition in team fights. How is Rika ever going to get on top of anyone in the backline? I think Rika is looking at a very hard game to play on the set. Victory also on the Yasuo. I mean, there is one ability that there's Braum ult, but Braum ult, whatever, is not really relevant for the knock-up. So there's one good ability to knock people up, and that can be quite telegraphed. And even if you knock Parky or someone up, Parky can just instantly exhaust you and then ult you away to still win the team fights. I really don't see this Gragas Yasuo working in the later stages of the game. FTV pretty much have to accelerate and snowball all the lanes, especially bot lane as well. Lucian in the bot lane, not the greatest champ, honestly.
Yeah. But it's Police's Lucian.
It's
Last
Police's
split, he
Lucian,
was
that's
so
to see.
good.
But it's also Lucian into Azir, Leona, and Aphelios.
I'm trying to have hope,
will
man.
definitely struggle to fight against.
Just trying to have hope for FTV.
Yep. I mean, if they smash early game, they can win this game. But if they even at 20 minutes, the game is pretty much over. They can't team fight anymore at that stage.
Yeah, and I mean, there is a very weird interaction, unless it's been changed, or maybe I just had terrible Yasuos on my team. I don't think you can ult off the set ult, which is super weird. If set showstoppers someone, it's not a knock-up.
No. It's because he's
untargetable.
He's untargetable. Yeah, I think that's why.
Weird anti-synergy. So, as you were saying, the only real setup for this Yasuo is
you should be able to
you can go off the E.
To ult off E.
Yeah, but it's so fast.
Yeah, Facebreaker
like 0.2 of a second. The knock-up, yeah.
Also very hard to land on this enemy team. So, whatever. I mean, the only real opportunity for a Facebreaker setup is on Bot 1. So if Bot 1 gets caught, or if there's a room for victory in the top lane, they could set up a quick ult with Facebreaker into a Yasuo ult, Last Breath. So that's the only real opportunity there. But yeah, I think this Yasuo pick was a little bit too early in the draft. Maybe a little bit premature.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I think the real premature pick was the set. I really want to keep stressing that first picking set is not very good. The champion is fairly strong, but it's so easily countered.
I still can't wrap my mind around VCS teams not picking Soraka into set. Because even if you're not super practiced on Soraka, it's such an easy matchup for her into set. Look at this team composition for EVOS. Imagine Soraka on the top lane.
Yeah.
It's 10 times better. At least. Like, Renekton doesn't do anything here. He's supposed to win lane into set, but Soraka wins lane into set as well. And, like, she scales so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I can't see VCS ever adopting Soraka as a real pick, as we did have a aggressive trade in the top, and the Predators were popped, but nothing came of it.
Yeah.
First gank will be called off.
And it's a worrying sign for EVOS' top laner, Bot 1. I have still no idea why he's in. But he's losing right now heavily in the CS department against Rika, Set, in a counter matchup.
It's not a counter matchup early. Set actually does okay super early, like levels 1.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think once 6 has had it flipped. Part of that is probably also just Bot 1. Some CS and stuff. Set can shove in quite easily with the W. And then I think he starts losing out.
So the real question about Bot 1 is, has he learned how to freeze? Because he's one of the 2 players in the infamous 5-minute long clip where people show us top lane mechanics. If you're interested about that, go to the Discord, check out, I think it's hashed
exclamation mark
Razor. Yeah.
The 5-minute long clip where you could genuinely have clown music playing the entire time. Because it is, it's peak VCS. But one was involved in that one. As yeah, he's drawn even in CS now. This Renekton should be just fine.
Yeah, Wave is in a good spot right now. He gave Rika time to walk back to lane, but now he kind of has to crash the wave into the turret or break the small little freeze but want to set up. We don't really have footage right now from the top lane. There's actually a good freeze setting up, but I think so. It looks like it from the position on the map. No, just looking at the minions, this will probably push slowly back into FTV. So now, but one could try to go for an all-in and force Rika out of lane to force the teleport right now, because now he would have to teleport. This is a big lane. Yeah. This is a slow push setting up for but one. Not quite sure why. Maybe you just mismanaged the wave, because Zorn is on the other side of the map. If he wanted to create the slow push into dive, Zorn would have had to come top lane a little bit.
We actually have a fight up in the top lane. If we could have a look up there, observers.
Yeah.
Watching.
But now this... I mean, this gives but one the opportunity to potentially walk back to lane. I'm not the biggest fan of what he did here. I think he had potential to deny Rika a lot more CS. Instead, he just pushed out the wave again. Now gave Rika, even though Rika heavily got out traded, Rika didn't actually lose anything. No, he wasn't even forced to teleport to lane. So yeah, not the greatest wave management maybe coming in for bot, but it's not the end of the world for him either. We have to see what he does now. Actually, another good recall for Rika now in the top lane. So yeah, Rika so far showing a good understanding of how and when to play around the waves.
Yeah, so far, looking pretty good up there. Is the Cloud Drake will be the first to spawn. As we know, the Gragas Yasuo comps really like to fight around First Dragon when they are both level 6, can have that massive pit control. I think EVOS have just let them have it, though. They don't need to fight over a Cloud Drake.
Yep. I'm a little concerned with Zorn's early games so far. He has not done anything. He's just been farming, and he's playing Lee Sin, so
Oh, here we go. There's the Gragawo. Last breath is used, but the Emperor's Divide comes out, and he shuffles on out of there. Doesn't even use a summoner spell.
Nope. That's one of the big problems with Gragas Yasuo. You kind of need the burst. You need to be able to lock down the kill with the attempt, and they were not even close to getting the kill here. Parky can potentially even stay in lane because he has flash and exhaust still available, and gets the honey fruit as well in the mid lane.
God, congratulations, Parquet. I don't know if your partner would really appreciate you spending your honeymoon on Summoner's Rift, but regardless, it was a very good play. And yeah, he absolutely will stay in lane and just continue farming up. That's a pretty huge failure, honestly, out of Kuroko and Victory. They used the Gragas Flash and the Ignite. I mean, it was just because Parquet had already gone back and just got a Seeker's Arm Guard.
And I just wondered, because this game has been very slow, just wondered about one interaction with Seeker's Arm Guard. Do you actually get 4 stacks for a jungle minion, or do you get just 1 stack?
I have no idea.
I have to check that.
I don't play AP champion. You know my champion pool. Well, I play Mordecai as well, but
you get 4 CS, but I think you only get stacks per minion kill. So I think you only get 1, but I have to check. I don't actually know.
Okay.
So we see the usual trait of objectives, a dragon going over to EVOS, which is great for them because they don't rely on early gold. So they can actually give up a little bit of gold and try to go for the dragon snowball because their composition will... What was that?
Okay, but one, just pressing the button,
what
and he's just going, oh...
What? Why? What?
If you watched the OPL earlier today, you saw the example of an absolutely amazing Croc, but the Croc in this game already looking not great. What? That was one of the worst Renekton players I've ever seen. Just walked in 1v3, got locked up and died. Cool.
Yeah, that happened.
And this is a risky TP. I know Zorn's here. Okay.
Yeah, Zorn is there to cover for him. So yeah, I still hate the top side for EVOS. I scales heavily. So even though they were big sinners in the top side, picking Lee Sin and Renekton, probably the most sinful top lane 2v2 you can actually pick.
Yeah, the mono red.
Yeah.
He's stealing LCK terms.
But yeah, it doesn't matter. They still have the Aphelios and they're only 1k gold behind, and that 1k gold was a big mistake. So yeah, they're still fine in this game. They have to keep on playing a good game, because if they give FTV too much room, FTV can run away with the game. Of course, you can always win. No matter how bad your composition, if you get a big enough lead, you can just roll over the enemy.
Yeah, or you can Gragas Yasuo at Elder Drake and steal it, and then you win.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the game plan.
Potentially.
They'll just give away Dragon Soul. Oh, the Shurima Shuffle is coming in here. It was a little bit dirty, though. And Victory does manage to flash away, but still, summon a spell for an ult. That's a good trade.
Don't actually think he had to flash there.
Nope.
I think it's better to flash after flash kick comes in, because then at least you got the flash out of. Now you just traded flash for nothing. Very, very much on the safe side. He wanted to stay in lane as well, so didn't want to invest too much HP there to escape. Fair, I guess, but yeah, I'm not in love with this play. I think you could have baited the kick flash and still gotten out. Yeah, in the end, nothing really happened there. Either side is still fine.
I'm getting just from production in my ear, they're telling me that you do only get 1 stack of Seekers.
Yeah, so I was correct. Nice.
Yes, you were. And there's the flash away by But1, gets away from the cask. This should be first tower for FTV, though. Doing pretty well. Getting a slight lead. 2k gold lead, actually, at 12 minutes. It's a bit more than slight. But I'm not 100% sure it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I agree. It's not enough. They need more. They need more. They have time to get more. I think it's okay for now. 12 minutes 2k is on pace, but they need to keep accelerating. They need to keep their foot on the pedal. They can't slow down now. And it's very hard to not slow down against Azir, Wave Clear, against Aphelios. So yeah, they need to look for more plays. They got the first withdrawal gifted to them by But1's misplay, also a kill.
Yeah. I mean,
now they need to look for another way to break another turret, maybe the bot lane. They're still sitting on 5 platings in mid lane and bot lane, so it's very hard to get your hand on some more gold for FTV. No.
Oh, come on. We've already had so much delay. Don't do this to its VCS.
So there was a game-breaking bug with But1. He couldn't see the enemies there, and that's why they are reviewing footage and might replay the game.
There's actually been a game-breaking bug with But1. He's in.
That is so rough.
Oh, my word.
He seems to have some problems here. Something on his monitor is not working as intended, seems like. So at least it's not the audio issues, because those will persist for very long.
Oh, my word. Come on, VCS. This is a bad night.
At least we don't actually have to deal with a lot of lag. We were very worried the 30 minutes of pause, because there was a lot of lag going on the timer. At least now gameplay is looking clean in terms of what we get to see, not what the teams are playing.
I do want to say, as much as we rag on VCS production, I do actually want to thank them. We've had Riot Villain joined our Discord and has been super transparent and like being like, hey guys, is everything okay on the stream? Does it all look good? Is there anything we can do to make it better? Actually super appreciated.
And the next week suddenly everything was fine. So they made big improvements.
Yeah, I don't want to flame them too hard. Tonight's been pretty bad.
Yeah, the audio issues seem to still plague them. Maybe they have to kind of get rid of all the old headsets or something. I'm not sure why there's so many audio issues.
I maintain that audio issues is a lie.
Yeah, maybe it's just a
toilet issue.
The easy way out.
But we are back in game, so it's all good. We don't have to complain anymore. It should be FTV still trying to build on this gold lead.
So I know what went wrong for B. He just realized there were shoulder guards.
Oh my god!
Like, why do I have shoulder guards on this champion? That doesn't make any sense. And the referee was like, "Yeah, but you bought them, so you have to play it out now."
No! Chrono break! I couldn't have done that.
Shoulder guards on Leona. Go get me out. What? She has so many AP ratios.
Way you're never gonna get exactly what you want. Look, one day you're a good caster, man. You're one of the best casters I know. You'll be on the LEC one day, and then all of your problems will go away. But right now, you're in your casting purgatory.
Oh no!
Oh no! Here we go. The showstopper onto Parquet. This is a lot of damage here. He should be going down easily. That was a terrible flash stun. Where are you going? And that is now a second kill being picked up for FTV. They're off to a good start.
Can you please explain me what's going on with Bud1's Arky? Why is he always in dominance?
I don't.
What?
I don't know what he was planning. Maybe he thought he had Spear of Shojin.
This is exactly what we talked about when we talked about FTV to keep the foot on the pedal. They need to get more kills. Good kills secured for the Gragas. Would have liked to see the kill going over to the Yasuo, of course, but Gragas can be very, very strong in the mid game as well. If he gets a little bit more penetration, a little bit more AP, already sitting on one completed. He's getting Zhonya's second item. Okay, that's not my favorite choice, but it's okay. And we have one item completed for victory right now. So EVOS is still sitting there, just farming waves. Parker needs to be a little bit more careful now in the next few minutes because there's no, he still has no flash and exhaust available. But they're still fine. They're sitting there. Okay, we have to be careful. Still looking. We are still on track to win this game. FTV still needs to do something here.
Yeah, FTV definitely needs to keep the ball rolling, but I've got to say, compared to how they've been going the rest of the split, they're pushing the ball a lot better, as we will see a replay of this dive. This was a super clean
This is
dive.
a very Gum-like play. This looks very much like what Gum would do. Just roam the top laner down.
Snapped him out of the E.
Yep, nicely done.
Yep, terrible flash.
You can tank forever. Parquet with a weird flash. Parquet is struggling a lot. We talked about Parquet a little bit yesterday as well. Parquet and his Orianna looked atrocious last week. So far this game, he's keeping up in CS. So he had one questionable Emperor's Divide, now one questionable flash. So not his greatest game, but if he can still perform the team fights, who cares?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a little bit questionable of EVOS at the moment.
Yeah. Rightfully so. I still don't understand the substitution of Bud1.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think the reason they do it is because you're against FTV.
Maybe.
You give him a run in game one. I don't like that because I don't know if you'll ever play. Like, maybe they're banking for the situation where Hero is like hit by a car, so they have to play But1 for a few series.
I guess. Well, yeah.
Playing to your
still question that decision as well because Hero is still super new in the team as well. So the more games you get on stage to build synergy, the better. And Hero is definitely a better player than But1. Like everything we have seen from But1 so far is not has shown us very, very little. So,
but he's had a good game so far on this set. I really question his build.
Renekton, you mean?
No, I do mean Renekton. But I was talking about Set. I was just talking about Rika.
Set has had a good game. Yeah.
I was just talking about Rika, but I do question the build. My eye always comes back to Set. But I don't necessarily like. Oh, hang on. But1, a little bit caught. Rika, bit caught out here. Uses the showstopper to try and get some distance. Should be able to use the haymaker in a moment. Bad kick there, but I don't think it's going to matter. He flashes away. Could have the haymaker, but no. Will be locked up. Sorn getting a kill. EVOS is on the board.
Didn't use his W.
I think it was still on cooldown. He used it to clear a wave just before the gank.
Yeah, that's true. That's unlucky. Good timing then.
And on 10-3, the cooldown's actually pretty long. Yeah.
FTV is still getting Shirley here, so they still have a lot of tools to get turrets, and mid lane should be easy to take with Shirley.
Yeah, Shirley.
But they've lost a little bit of their gold lead now. That shutdown in the bot lane, which means we're back to 1k gold lead. That's not enough. That is by far not enough. In like 10 minutes time, FTV will not have any chance at winning team fights, so they need to do something here.
So, as I was going to touch on the set build, and we actually had one of the problems with it illustrated, as we should have this mid tower going down. I don't think EVOS can really fight over this one. Might try it, though. So we'll just pause my point, but
very greedy. Very greedy from FTV to not use the Rift Herald here.
It worked.
But I guess, yeah, I still question the decision, because where are you going to use Shirley now? It's very hard to push secondary mid-turret. Bot lane is very far away, so if you go for bot lane and the next minute maybe the enemy team can sneak a Baron, they have Azir Aphelios, so they are actually at risk of giving up the Baron here. Not the biggest fan. I think you just use the Rift Herald there, maybe even get a charge on the secondary turret. So, yeah.
Oh well, we'll have to see what they do, but again, I just want to go back to this set point. One day I'll get there. This is a really bad build because there's no CDR. And we actually saw in that gank towards the bot lane where he couldn't get a second Haymaker. It's because there's zero CDR. Set relies on CDR. I think Triforce is the best item, and I think this was the perfect game to go Triforce. But even if you weren't going to go Triforce, please go something with CDR on it. Not Deadman's.
Deadman's is a very strange choice.
Oh, but there comes the showstopper. The flash instantly swords. Really low here. Victory in the backline with the ult. Has taken a fair bit of damage. There is the Moonlight Vigil doing so much, though. Victory gets caught out. This is all turning on its head. EVOS doing so well, but one will get another one. There is an answer back there onto B, but the Ocean Drake will go to EVOS, as will the fight.
Very scattered fight where both teams tried to get on top of the enemy backline, but FTV had the problem that they couldn't deal with Parker. He used his exhaust to live longer. He actually messed up his ult there. We'll get to see that in the replay. Tried to ult away the stopwatching. I think it was Kuroko. No, Kuroko is still sitting on a stopwatch, so it was Yasuo. So, but yeah, in the end, there was not enough damage to take him down, and then Parker and Divkid had way more damage than the enemy divers. Also, great fight from B. Let's look at this. So Divkid instantly flashed away. I'm not sure what Victory did here. He hit his ult, but nothing happened. That's weird. And B, look at B. He delays the fight so much there. Draws a lot of aggro. Almost gets out dice to something. Potentially the red buff or something for Kuroko. And in the end, great fight for EVOS, who are now almost back in the game. Well and truly in the better position, to be honest, even though there's still 1k gold in favor of FTV. We already saw the struggles for FTV, and I now can kind of see the reason to go Deadman's Plate here, because we have talked about Rika having struggles to get into the backline. Deadman's Plate gives you a lot of extra movement speed. I don't say it's good. You
know what's better than moving slightly faster?
Having more abilities?
Being able to do a massive true damage nuke and a shield twice in a fight. Yeah.
I mean, but if it can't hit anyone,
Haymaker's pretty big. He came in on a flank that fight as well. Like Deadman's didn't make a difference.
That's true.
I
can see his thought.
But one in some trouble down here, and he's just gonna die. Yep.
Yep, and instantly the Baron is called. So there's a Baron burst potential, and this should be Baron for EVOS.
There's not great guns on Aphelios here. He doesn't have the chakrams, but this should still be pretty free.
One of the worst Baron guns, actually.
Yeah, sniper.
Flamethrower doesn't do anything.
You really want the chakram and probably
Severum. Severum is very good as well, because
that's the one.
Now EVOS
they are trying to fight around an Azir turret. So they're not in the middle of nowhere. Rika does use the showstopper there onto Divkid. So much damage immediately onto that Aphelios. Immediately murdering him. Sword with a huge kick there. Parquet in the middle of the enemy team. That wall does a lot. So much damage. But he has no mana. And this is EVOS melting. Police has already got a double kill. B is all on his own. I tell a lie. But one's there as he slices one man's head off. But I don't think he's going to be able to get anything else. It's a triple kill for Police. And Leona can't even get out. This is all of the Baron buffs immediately going away. And once again, the VCS says, hey guys, let's just flip the game on its head. And FTV is back in the driver's seat.
And we have to talk about Parquet. After his very bad last week, he's continuing to play a very bad game. Like,
I don't know, that shuffle was good. He just didn't have mana.
I don't think you need to shuffle there. Just stay under your turret and defensively shuffle to just abuse your turret position. Because he went for a pretty aggressive shuffle there, and that could have worked if they had follow-up damage, but the ADC was already dead, so who's going to deal the damage there? So everyone moves a little bit to the turret, but no one has turret aggro, and you can just turn on Parquet. No mana as well. He's not built any mana items, so it's he has to manage his mana a little bit better. Of course, he needed to invest some. He's still half mana here, so I'm not sure where all his mana is going.
Yeah, it's used there. Yeah, DivKid just gets absolutely exploded.
Yeah, that was a very good engage from DivKid. Yeah, I don't agree with this. No, don't go for that. Okay. Way too aggressive. Stay under turret. Fight defensively. This is a little bit of the players who want to make Azir look cool, but Azir, in essence, is still a backline, a very, very strong defensive backline.
Oh, as we come back to live, as we have another fight, Police has got a kill, I should say. It's got a little bit thrown off by ordering of name, but Parquet is dead. And yeah, Parquet's tradition of playing really badly is continuing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not as bad as his Orianna.
So far, not super impressed by Swan's Lee Sin, I have to say. Nope. Good kick there. Try to get the full 5-man kick. Not quite able to do so. But yeah, not the biggest game impact or the strongest performer from Swan. And now EVO's backline carries have to step up. FTV now up to a 4k gold lead.
They're actually in a really good position.
Yeah. Very strong items on Police, and we know Police is a very good late game carry. And a very good Lucian player. So now 5-0-1, 3 items almost, and they will delay the Dragon Stack as well. So actually, a very good position for FTV, and we might look at the first FTV win.
Don't say it too early. Don't jinx it.
Look at Erika's build, by the way. That is wild. It's now going 3rd item Trinity Force.
Okay.
Okay.
Vinny, I see you in chat. Do you mind just taking over the cast? I can't quite handle this. I don't. I mean, this is a good spot to go Trinity Force. You're ahead. You have enough time. But why did you go Deadman's first?
It's very Rika-like. This looks a lot like the
what bad
games. Yeah. Okay. That's harsh. I think back to his Poppy. He always goes Sunfire into Trinity.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just this mentality to go tank item first into hard matchups and then
got
go
Set and Poppy mixed up. Speaking of the Set, though, the showstopper to start the show, and there is the Facebreaker into the Aswalt. But one is in so much trouble. There? Victory almost goes down in the trade. But one running. There is absolutely no one coming for him. As he was
has to be careful,
in the middle of nowhere. Could potentially get traded onto Victory, but no. We'll trade it for a mid lane tower.
Way too much time. That took forever.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Victory just got murdered by him. He turned around and almost one-shot Victory. With a Spear of Shojin, Victory would have been dead. So
thank God that item doesn't exist.
Item is gone.
That item never existed. We've always been at war with East Asia. Eurasia, I should say. To get the quote right. But, I mean, in the end, that's not worth it for FTV. Yeah, they get the kill on the hopelessly out of position but one, but they lost 2 towers because Aphelios had chakrams. Yeah,
now look at the gold. They actually lost 2k of their 4k gold lead, and more items coming in for EVOS. I still kind of question Parker's itemization. He needs more damage. He has gone for a very defensive build here with the Zhonya's 2nd item, which is not bad into FTV's composition because they have a lot of 80 damage. So the 50 armor or 45 armor will actually do a lot for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he needs a little bit more damage. He seems to be going for the Void stuff next, which...
Oh, but one, what are you doing?
Yeah, please sub him out again. Why is he in again?
What is he doing?
Oh, Rika on the flank. Rika. Oh,
here we go. B in the middle of the enemy team. That wind wall doing a lot already. DivKid has been unable to do much damage. Thorn now. Oh, but DivKid now gets blown up. And this is just going to be an absolute run over for FTV. Parquet has a good go, but it's not going to be quite good enough. And FTV are 10 kills and 4k gold ahead.
Yeah,
if they can make this happen.
All the team fight. DivKit so far has had absolutely no game impact because everyone is just piling on top to do anything.
Yeah.
Leona, not the greatest champ at defending Aphelios, and yeah, I mean, he needs to stay away from the enemy, but if the enemy comes from different sides of the fight, two flanks, there's nothing you can do. It instantly dies again. He used his flash, didn't do anything. Parker needed to flash as well. Now Baron to FTV. Next Dragon is coming up in 1.5 minutes, and it's looking more and more likely that FTV might break their losing streak.
Very, very possible. This is... I'm a little bit worried here that bringing in But1 might have been a big old punish. Because he has looked atrocious. And unfortunately, Parquet's having a bit of a clanger as well. Bit hard when you're playing 3.5 v5.
Yeah, and Aphelios, I mean, it's not on DivKit, but Aphelios has had no game import servers.
Yeah.
It's really only Lee Sin and Leona and those two gems.
They're not winning you a
Can't
fight.
really do a whole lot. Nope. B has had great positionings and zoning here and there. He stays alive for way too long because he has stone plate and he's a full tank now. But yeah, FTV, they should try to get something done with this Baron. They have a super strong ADC. They have a very strong top end. Yeah, everyone is strong on their side. If you look at the items, big item power spikes, 100% crit, and GA finished.
Oh, here comes the potential bush bait. Here they go. Rika did lead it
face
in.
Breaker.
So far, the face breaker doesn't quite do enough, and there is the Yasuo ult. And despite it being the bait, this isn't going well for EVOS at all. DivKid's in so much trouble, can't heal through it, and it's going in the favor of FTV. Parquet has to dash away, and why bait them? You've baited a crocodile and stuck your arm down its bloody mouth. And this should just be FTV winning the game.
Yeah, baiting against Set, very risky because he's a certainly tanky champ, and they couldn't kill him instantly. They were 4v5 because But1 once again wasn't there. And this is the end of the game. Nicely done from FTV. Very decisive closing.
This is the first game FTV's won, just to show some...
and it looked dominant, honestly. I mean, if Police can perform like this on these champs, just go for these picks again. Great performance from FTV, and their first victory of the season comes against EVOS. And we thought this would be a great way for EVOS to come back or get back on track. Scheduling for them looked very kind after a very hard week. Get FTV, get the free win, get back into form, and then challenge the harder team later on in the week. But now they've lost against FTV. And they're staring down the barrel of potentially going down to FTV as the first team in the VCS. Yeah,
thankfully for EVOS, they do have the option of just not playing But1 next game.
Who knows? Maybe our hero is actually sick or something. We have to wait for some inside information. Maybe someone knows a little bit more there, because
don't say that.
I mean, I don't wish it for him.
Of course not.
But, it's very weird to see But1 subbed in, because EVOS rightfully recognized that But1 is not VCS level and looked for a replacement for him this season, because he is not VCS level. It's that simple. He just played against Rika and got hard outperformed by Rika. And if Rika outperforms you in the top lane, go back to VCSB, please.
Yep. So now we do have to decide on our MVP of the match. Pretty much.
There were a lot of
good
players.
Yeah. Rika looked really good, making a lot of space. Kuriko looked good.
That's true.
Police obviously popped off.
Yeah, Police had all the kills. Police also played teamfights very well. I'm not quite sure MP, like the most valuable player, because I think most fights were won by Kuroko, actually, hitting the body slam on the enemy Aphelios, and Aphelios couldn't do anything against him. Police still had a great score, so it's for me, it's between Kuroko and Police.
I'm leaning towards Kuroko. He looked really, really good on that. Police just caught sort of benefit.
I'm a little Police biased because I'm a big Police fan, but I agree. Kuroko had a great game, so let's give it to Kuroko and Police. If FTV can perform like this, Police will rack up those MVP points anyway.
Absolutely. But we have about 5 minutes or 4.5 minutes until game 2 to see if FTV can make it not just their first map win, but their first series win, or if EVOS can right the ship and get it back into the next one. We appreciate everyone watching. We're glad to have you here. If you go look down below the stream, there is a few ways you can support us, which would really appreciate, as well as perhaps subscribing. We have some fun emotes, and we have some others we'd like to add, but we need sub points. So
Yeah,
that'd be great. But anyway, thanks everyone for watching. We will be back in about 4 minutes. See you guys in just a little bit. Hello. We are back for the second game here of EVOS versus FTV. And as expected, FTV has taken game 1 in dominant fashion.
yeah. FTV, of course, one of our top teams.
Of course.
What is going on the mainstream? What?
Victory getting MVP on the mainstream.
They have lost their minds. What? Why Victory?
This is why I don't think we should just talk. I just don't think we even acknowledge what the mainstream does. Just stick with ours.
So absurd. What the...
That is inting.
So you pressed R 2 or 3 times in the game and gets the MVP. Okay then. What? Yeah, whatever. Let's not talk about that. I think Victory looked just as confused as we did, and that is Hero on. So Hero is back in. We have absolutely no idea why But1 was subbed in. That was one of the weirdest moves EVOS has ever done. Maybe they wanted to. I mean, they just. Never mind. He's leaving stage again.
Come back, Hero, please.
What is going on?
I assume he's just going to the bathroom or something.
Yeah,
while they're getting set up.
He's getting his headset because there was looked like there was something with. So let's hope for Hero in the second game. If not, maybe FTV can sneak their first 2-0 of the season. And it's very good to see the final team in this league having finally won a game as well. So they are not joining the ranks of Vitality of EU and I think KT of Korea as the only winless teams.
So now FTV has won really long time. Oh, you mean this year, right?
Yeah,
I thought you meant in history.
So, yeah, Vitality is still sitting at 0-8, and FTV is now 1-8. So that's good to see.
Well, let's see if they can get a series though, because unfortunately, winning a game doesn't really mean much.
Yep, doesn't really do a lot for you. And I mean, in the end, no one cares about your 4 lost series 0-2, where you looked like the like utter trash. If you can win the series here, you suddenly go up to 1-4 and can tie VGA later on in the day, especially if Flash, as expected, sweeps VGA. Suddenly VGA is sitting at 1-4 as well, and FTV is right back in the conversation of 7th, maybe even 6th place later on.
Ooh, truly lofty goals.
I mean...
Yeah, considering their start, it is actually something. Yeah. But, I mean, we do have to see how they go in this second game, as we are heading into Champion Select.
And it is Hero.
That is Hero. Thank God. Definitely, having But1 in was not a good time at all. This should definitely right the ship. As Set is going to be banned. Actually by the side of FTV, so they're rating it as first pickable. They take it out. Yeah. The Nocturne
is still behind in priorities. I mean, it is weird to see. Set has definitely lost a little bit of his priority in other leagues. He's still played a lot, but not first picked a lot. So we saw the first pick in the first game. It got them the win in the end. I don't think he was the most impactful player, but he played a good Set game. So maybe understandable that Rika doesn't want to face TH's set. So I'd like to see the Yuumi first pick. It's just the strongest champ on the patch together with Soraka, so it's very confusing to see VCS not being able to acknowledge that fact. Maybe it's just between these 2 teams, and Flash will show us something different. Because CBL was a good Yuumi player last year as well, so yeah.
Potentially, but the band's looking very similar, with the exception of the Set and the Gragas, which are different. We're not going to see a repeat of Kuroko's lights out Gragas performance, and the Jarvan does come in as the final ban. Sorn won't get his big carry. I don't really... Oh, okay. The Shyvana Hunter scared me a lot, but Syndra locked in. That's a really good first pick.
In theory, Shyvana should be better on this patch, so...
Okay. Better. That said, AP Shyvana has a 100% win rate.
Yeah, on 2 games, so...
Yep.
There we go.
And we're not about to... Are we about to see Xayah picked over Aphelios?
It's Police, and I mean...
Lucian.
The only game they've won so far is on Police. Kind of makes sense to go back to the Lucian. They will give up the Aphelios once again, which is very surprising. Okay. Blind Mordekaiser is better than Blind Set, in my opinion.
I agree. Because at least you can flex Mordekaiser. I mean, you can flex Set too.
But you could also just pick Ornn, by the way.
Yeah, you could also just pick Rumble. I'm okay with Rumble. I mean, I can't believe they're not picking Ornn, but Rumble at least is okay.
So, one of the best rotations right now would be Aphelios. Aphelios would be like instantly the draft is won. Could also just go Yuumi Ezreal here. If we were a real league, Yuumi Ezreal would be.
And we could also pick Soraka if we were a real league. But no, we're gonna get the Lee Sin.
Instead we get Lee Sin. Okay, there we go. Another Thorn Lee Sin.
Thorn really feeling that one, despite this being the patch of the farm junglers and Thorn being the farm jungler. Going to the Lee Sin 2 games in a row.
Very confusing. Violet has done some strange research for this patch. So now we have our top side complete for EVOS. Could still be, of course, the Syndra flags. Don't really expect it for Divkit. Has he played Syndra so far this season? Nope. So, yeah, don't really see that happening. And that is a very, very good counter pick for FTV. Rika has shown us the GP before. GP scales very well. He can deal with the Death Realm very easily. He just eats an orange and is K. So, I like this one a lot. This already looks like a very strong AoE-focused team composition for FTV.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, FTV looking like they might win the draft, which is unbelievable when you think about it, as they have sort of handed it to EVOS on a silver platter. Aphelios getting all the way through the first round of picks could now be banned in the second round. Even though FTV is removed.
Finally.
Yep, there it is.
My God.
Unbelievable.
It's so strange. So we're looking at a jungle pick for FTV. They still ban the 10.2 junglers mostly. They have Rumble, so Karthus is not the greatest option. You don't really want to play Rumble. That is a little bit too much AoE, AP damage. Very, very much incentivizes the enemy team to go for MR. So. Don't really expect the Karthus here. You could just go Sejuani, or you could throw away the game and go for Kha'Zix. Okay.
Yep, and that's locked in. We have Kuroko Kha'Zix. Let's go.
Okay, it's one of Kuroko's famous, and so it's kind of understandable. I don't agree with it. Kha'Zix should actually be a little bit better on this patch if you can power farm to the late game. I've not seen too much Kha'Zix, but
we had Xayah banned over MF.
Yeah, MF.
That's a decision.
It's strange. It's a little bit strange, yeah. So we Thresh MF could be the bot lane. B is super good Thresh player as well.
But surely they just lock Braum. It's like Lucian Braum's a great lane. It's what they played last game. And it's great into the MF. Like, surely this is just an insta-pick Ornn. I mean, Ornn? No, sorry, Braum. They sound similar. I mean, Ornn would still be pretty good.
They do similar things as well, kind of. But, yeah, the Thresh, very good champ for B. And we've actually a lot of teams shy away from the Braum, even as a counter pick into MF. Braum isn't quite as successful anymore. He's the most picked champ in the VCS, and quite good at countering some of what MF does, but a lot of people also overlook MF's raw power outside of the ultimate, because she's still a very much an over-tuned champ when it comes to her W attack speed buff, her Q damage, her passive damage. There is a lot of damage still that applies even if the ult gets countered by Braum. So I still like MF. I know a lot of analysts actually seem to not like MF anymore. I still think she's super strong, very hard to gank as well with her movement speed. So yeah, I don't hate the Braum giveaway. I think Thresh is a very good champ for B. It's against Lucian Braum, so there would have been an extra incentive to pick the Braum over a Thresh here. So I can see your point, but yeah, I think it's fine still.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily terrible. It's just something to consider, for sure. I mean, there's actually two pretty good comps overall, except there's a Kha'Zix, which is super out of left field.
Kha'Zix is a little bit of the VCS, not sure what to say, the plaque, VCS plaque, because that was one of the champs Gum randomly went for at Worlds as well and lost the game, did nothing with the Kha'Zix. Just go away from Kha'Zix. No CC, pure damage, pure assassin. Why Kha'Zix? Kha'Zix also not very good into a lot of the enemy champs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like he can get denied really easily.
Syndra can zone him off team fights. Lee Sin can kick him away for the backline dive. MF, okay, he's quite good into MF, I'd say, because she's very stationary in team fights. But then there's Thresh to peel for her, so I'm really not in love with this Kha'Zix pick. I think it's way too risky. It doesn't really offer a whole lot. It's just pure damage. Would have liked to see Sejuani there in that rotation, maybe. Yeah, what else? You could go for something like Silas if you want.
Silas
maybe not into Lee Sin.
Silas, I don't know about that. But, I mean, Silas against Mordekaiser is one of the funniest interactions out there. Fun fact, there's only one death roll. So if Mordekaiser ults someone, and then Silas ults someone else, there's 4 people in the death roll.
Seriously? Oh, yeah. That is super cool. I now want to see Silas Mordekaiser.
But it's very buggy. It's like you kind of flash in and out.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. It's interesting. But yeah, as you said,
I would have really liked to see. I think Sejuani would have been a great champ for it.
We'll have to see if Kuriko can prove us wrong, though, on the bug. Yeah. Starting out topside, which is already.
And they're definitely sticking to their very aggressive game. Oh, we might get to see a little bit of a skirmish. EVS is calling off the play, though. They are facing Braum Lucian at level 1. Yeah, don't.
Yep, and that's why you don't do that.
Yeah.
It could have gone really badly, really quickly.
Yeah, I have a very strong champ on level 1 as well, and we very has trade into her, because, auto attack trades into MF, not the greatest for Lucian. Of course, the all-in is always Lucian favored, especially when level 2 comes in and he gets a little bit more mobility, more ways to proc the concussive blows as well. So, pretty interesting lane to watch, in my opinion. A lot of kill potential for either side. A little bit more in potential for FTV, more poke on the side of EVS. So, I'd like to keep an eye on bot lane, because all the other lanes will probably be quite boring.
Yeah. Mordekaiser is never getting on top of the gangplank, and Rumble Syndra. That's just going to be ping pong.
Yeah.
Really gonna be
I really like to see more gangplank here. I think gangplank has. And it's good to see FTV step up and take the gangplank into Mordekaiser. Very easy matchup for him to succeed and scale into the later stages of the game. Also, a matchup you can't really kill the gangplank very easily in. It's very hard for Mordekaiser to lock him down. And Lee Sin Mordekaiser can't. I don't see Lee Sin Mordekaiser kill the gangplank anytime soon.
No, I mean, maybe, I'm just thinking about it, maybe the Kha'Zix was a Mordekaiser counter pick, because if he ults you, he's isolated. 200 IQ.
Not sure if he's strong enough.
200 IQ. No, come on. I think he's just huge brain.
Yeah, 5 head coming in.
Yeah, totally worth picking your jungle champion based off that one interaction. Totally. I mean, look, we'll have to see what Kuriko brings out on the Kha'Zix. We'll be able to farm earlier for some real reward, at least, because it is 10.3. But I struggle to see him having a huge impact. I think he just gets denied by Lantern, out of the week, kick, death realm.
This is also something that continues to plague the VC international and domestically. Most of the drafts are fine. Oh, okay, that's a strong statement, but most of the drafts aren't much worse than in the major regions. Let's say it like that, because some of the major region drafts are also very atrocious. So
Diplomatic.
But they then seem to overly rely on conf champs or on fun champs to pick, because there was no reason to go Kha'Zix here, and it's much more of a solo queue special pick. And I think there would be more discipline in the major region team to pick just the Sejuani here, or some tank jungler, some more stable pick.
Ornn jungle. Bring it out.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Why not? Make LS happy. Go
Yeah.
for Ornn jungle.
LS would be happy as long as there's an Ornn in every game. And I'm sure LS advocates bringing back old Korea game 5s so we could have an Ornn on both teams.
Oh no. Double Ornn. Imagine can Ornn hit the Ornn horn of the other Ornn?
Probably not. But then again, it's Riot, so maybe.
Would actually be super interesting. I mean, Draven can catch axes from enemy Dravens. So.
True, but I think that's like a specific interaction. I don't know. It's not relevant.
What would be right now on this matter the blind pick matter, or blind pick, the perfect draft for blind pick?
Tricky. Depends on the team, but I think Ornn, Olaf, Soraka, Yuumi, Aphelios.
I think Yuumi Ezreal is probably better. But,
yeah, that's true.
I'd say Soraka top Karthus jungle, and then Soraka Ezreal Yuumi. So that is pure scaling. That is just
so you don't like playing. You don't like playing the first 25 minutes of League of Legends, and neither does the VCS, because as the dragon was being taken, we do have another pause. It's a rough night.
Yeah, some struggles here and there. So it seems like there's still some problems on EVOS' side. B is not too happy with this game. Divkit or B? Yeah, it seems like one of the two bot laners is the person in question here, but there's not a whole lot happening. Should be getting back into game soon-ish. Starting soon, the infamous starting soon.
Oh dear. It's been a rough night of production tonight, boys. Don't know what's going on at the stadium, but gotta get new headsets. These audio issues.
No, Winnie. I have Raka top lane and Ornn mid lane, while we've swapped solo lanes, basically.
Be real. You'd like the Soraka twice.
Of course.
I'm pretty sure your ideal comp would be Soraka top, Ornn jungle, Soraka mid, Soraka bot.
Or the Soraka.
Oh, we are back in game. Soraka. Just a short pause, and we go straight back into Sorn getting the steal.
Sorn finally doing something on his Lee Sin.
But the red carpet laid out. I don't know how much it's going to do. Parquet getting burned, but he'll get away just fine. Sorn had all the time in the world to think about how he was going to go for that steal, as he was waiting in the bush, staring at it while they did get the tech issues sorted. But a good start for him. Good little confidence boost, and taking an objective away from the Kha'Zix.
Yeah. So Rika is struggling up top.
Victory is nearly
more than we thought. Yeah, I think there was Parker burst. Yeah, Parker and Swan both flashed on him while we watched top lane waves being cleared. So maybe we'll get a replay here. But yeah, looking at the top lane, 20 CS difference for the Mordecai. That's way more than you should have at this point of the game. But it's also Rika struggling to play against Hero, who's a pretty good laner.
Ooh, Divkit in a lot of trouble here. Has to flash, is exhausted, but gets the lantern and manages to get the safety.
Yeah, also dodged the concussive blow, the Winter Spite, the most important ability there.
Yep, and the Gangplank ult is used. Nice. B does get in a lot of trouble here. This could be a very easy kill, and it is. Well done, FTV. Off to a good start once again. Though they are still 400 gold.
Very, very good mechanics displayed for FTV spot lane. Tiger stepping back in front of Police to dodge to protect him from the hooks. So the Police had enough time to damage B. Very nicely done. I hope we get to see the replay there. cool Braum play. Usually Braum, not the champ where you can display a lot of skill, because you just stand there, Q from time to time, E from time to time, and then press R.
Yeah.
But yeah, nicely done. A very, very well conducted kill. And they didn't even have to invest the flash from Tiger. First blood to Police, who carried a lot of the last game. So
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
exactly what FTV wants their first kill to be.
Yeah, if they can pump up Police again, as they did last game, they're in a very good position to close this one out. But still a long way to go, as was mentioned. They are still actually behind in gold, just based off the top lane farm, pretty much entirely.
Yeah.
But I think that's okay. Gangplank is always going to fall a little bit behind, but he's never really going to die. So he'll catch up.
Look at how they've just messed up Rika's whole game, because they let Police swap into the crashing minion waves. So he's now sitting in a very good spot in lane, while Rika has to push out his lane, or there's not a single minion.
They're lurking in a bush here, but I don't think this is going to go well. Like, nothing's going to happen.
No.
Bit of wasted time. But they are actually going to get the Rift Herald, or at least start it up. It will be contested.
Yeah, FTV has swapped their bot lane to the top side, so they're ready to
nowhere
contest.
Close, though.
Need to be quick though. Yeah,
Kuriko's so far away. I think this can be
farming the bot side. So now the play for FTV is just to push out the top lane to delay the Rift Herald spawn as long as possible, so then that that your team can regroup. Not sure what Victory is doing on the bot side of the map. Hello. What? Some strange roams, but they get a lot of time for Rika to get solo platings and get back into the game. He's still far behind in CS, but he has got more experience and gold than TH has in the last 2.5 minutes, which means now FTV is suddenly ahead in gold.
Yep, Gangplank money is pretty good, for sure. Oh, where's the next breakpoint going to be? We've got a very slow series.
Yeah.
Shockingly
low on kills. Normally, our average is 29 kills in 31 minutes, so almost 1 kill per minute. Definitely not living up to that so far in this series. Very much the DBL approach, a little bit more of LCK style. And I mean, it's good for FTV. They like to farm their champs. They have Gangplank and Kha'Zix. Both those champs need to farm, and Kha'Zix just didn't want to go for his camp, I guess.
Yeah.
An annoying camp to take, to be fair. No, but he should still be able to get that one done. And there's no camp for him either. So it seems like they just want to focus on the vision control for the next dragon, which they have position on, and they have level 6 Rumble. So level 9, but level 6 is the relevant level there. Rika's ult is available as well. So this should be a pretty free dragon, and also no reason for us to contest this one other than just to snowball the dragons. But it's a mountain dragon. No one cares about mountain dragons. So whatever.
It's very true. I mean, Sorn might go for another steal, as it does look like they're going to try and drop the Rift Herald down here. Could actually turn into a bit of a fight, as there is the Gangplank ult being used very prematurely. Culling comes out as well, but the Lantern is there. DivKid is safe. Yeah,
the chunk should still be enough to secure the dragon here.
Yep.
Not a big fan of the Gangplank ulti, as you said as well, but it should still be enough. So now second dragon over to FTV. This delays our potential for Dragon Spike a lot, which means Dragon will lose a little bit of priority in the next few minutes, and we'll get to see maybe a little bit more topside focus with Shirley spawning in a few minutes as well.
Yep, and Shelly is spawned here in the bot lane. This could be a little bit of a fight, as there actually is a collapse. Here comes the TP. B is in some trouble. There's a counter TP. In goes Thorn, looking for a kick, but really, really delayed there. Police, though, does go down. 1-for-1 so far. Kuriko's in a lot of trouble, but he's actually going to manage to slip away. Slippery little bug. And in the end, I think it is just going to be a 1-for-1. Can they knock this tower down? Someone just run up and dink it?
Easily able to do so.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now they
first turret over to EVS, fight win as well. Very nice Death Realm to prevent Police from carrying the fight again. They had no way to stack the concussive blows without Police's or resets there. So it's a trade. First turret, so immediate gold and a few kills for more gold on Rika. Rika decided to not teleport down, which in hindsight, I think is probably a wise decision because his ult was not available. He has no items, so Gangplank level 9 without ult doesn't really do a whole lot. So it's better for him to just stake up a little bit more gold to get more turret platings and more CS.
Yeah, and
So
in the
it's
end,
still
it
fine.
was a 1-for-1. So.
Yeah, and look at the gold. The FTV is still ahead, even though they gave up 5 platings in the bot lane. So they are conducting themselves well in this game. Nice to see FTV being able to understand macro on a little bit of a deeper level and not overly panic for a team fight in the bot lane.
Yeah, very true. Just one thing to comment on is that Kuriko in that fight did basically nothing except take. Still not seeing the payoff of this Kha'Zix pick.
Yeah.
I do hope we see eventually, because I'd hate
Also,
it to be a silly pick.
One of my mates who I play with a lot hate assassins going AD jungle item first. Oh, there was a kill in the bot lane.
Hero's dead, and we're watching a ward being cleared.
So he always argues it's better to skip jungle item and go for lethality items first, which is not what Kuriko did in this game. Not quite sure on the math. I still think there's a lot of value on the AD jungle item, but it's definitely something we need to keep our eyes on. Maybe Kuriko wants to go for more of a late game build with Black Cleaver and a lot of CDR to be maybe even a side lane threat. We have not seen side lane Kha'Zix in a long time.
No, we have not. That is certainly a blast from the past, as this was just Hero just dying.
Well, Mordekaiser getting caught is quite a funny sight.
Yeah, he can't do much, as Victory could be in some trouble. Flashes early. The kick is used regardless, but still, flash for a kick. It's a trade you take. But well done by Victory getting the hell out of there.
Yeah, good to see. Victory was aware of what was coming for him, so he's still on full life. He can clear out this wave. Park is 1 level ahead. He doesn't have the damage to deal with Rumble right now. So far, not too impressed with Rumble either. He has definitely lost a lot of priority in most of the leagues, because most people say, okay, Rumble is quite strong early on, but he falls off very quickly, and his late game, not great. So most people have moved away from picking Rumble. We have to see Victory have a little bit more game impact, because he also didn't go for the 2-item power spike burst build, which is as much penetration as you can stack. So this is more. Oh, never mind. Now he built a little bit of penetration. So undecided on what he wants to go for.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be very interesting. The question is, where are they going to go for next? Kuriko up in the top lane, floating around near Parquet, but nothing to find. And we are going back into a little bit of a lull. Shirley is being taken. So
it's very impressive to see how FTV has recovered their top lane deficit. It's definitely on EVOS as well. Messed up TH's lane. If TH was able to just lane all the time against Rika, there would still be a big advantage for him. But now it's even in CS. Rika has completed his call, so he's actually ahead in gold now.
And that is Kuriko not checking the lane before summoning the Herald. That's going to be 2 pretty easy kills. Rika has arrived. And turret goes down, but I don't think anyone got the gold. Ooh, FTV.
Yeah,
that just was a bit of a disaster.
They messed up. Past the curse.
What happened there? That was B. He threw the lantern under a control ward. And you can't click on the lantern through a control ward. That was not a good throw. Just a little bit to the left.
That is very unfortunate. But yeah, good pick for EVOS. We still don't see what Kha'Zix is supposed to do, honestly.
I genuinely thought he actually got interrupted on the summon, which I've never seen.
Yeah. It definitely looked like he got interrupted, but it seems like it's almost impossible now, right? I'm not even sure if it...
Oh, but here we go. Another fight here. Kuriko has been caught out. He's in the Death Realm, as the Misfortune ult has been interrupted by the Glacial Fissure. Kuriko does go down. Kha'Zix continuing to be not much more than a splat on the car windshield.
Yeah.
When you're cruising along the autobahn.
Well, so far not looking like the buck he wants to be. very much oversized and threatening lives of everyone. Right now, he's just a normal bug, and that's not very impressive compared to all the other champs.
He's trying to be a Bug's Life, but unfortunately, he's just ants. Far less successful. That's a reference I don't think anyone's going to get, but I'm really proud.
Nice. Let's give him a slow clap.
Don't. Look. I own that my humor's terrible.
So the game is still very slow. FTV still has all the chances to win this game, but looking at the team fights later on in the game, they have a very strange team composition. They have very low range, high mobility team composition with Lucian and Kha'Zix trying to be as chaotic as possible and dodge all the upfront, front-to-back team fighting coming in from EVOS. It's very hard to play Kha'Zix into this team composition, as we said before. There's Syndra, there's Lee Sin, there's Thresh. So I'd actually like to see Kuroko maybe try to focus on side lanes, because that's where he can succeed, potentially. He's very far down experience, though. So if he enters the side lane against Parker right now, he just gets one shot. So
yeah, I think if he enters the side lane against any of the side laners, he kind of just dies. I think he just gets death realmed or just blown up by Parquet. So definitely not an easy life for Mr. Kha'Zix. But they should be able to pick up a little bit of control of this bottom side river vision. Baron spawning in 40 seconds. Neither team with a particularly amazing Baron comp, so I don't think we'll see him for a while.
Actually, FTV's comp, if they get alone time Baron, they can shred it very quickly. Kha'Zix is very good at taking Baron. Gangplank builds crit, so he deals a lot of damage to Baron as well. If they get five men on top of Baron, they can shred it very quickly, but they also lose a lot of HP, so not a safe Baron, it's a quick Baron though.
Yep. And that equalizer just dropped in the top lane just to make sure no push could come in. Very good use of that by Victory. As you were saying earlier, this Rumble pick so far definitely not paying off. The ults have not really done a huge amount, and if you're not getting value out of your ult as Rumble, what are you really doing?
Yeah, so far not much. He's just ping-ponging waves back to the Syndra, which, I mean, we are playing LCK style, so ping-pong is the way to go.
Yep, playing LCK
this
style.
This game's pretty much on Rika to carry. Yeah, Rika and Police are the main carries here. They try to go style, top and bot lane carry, while mid lane just holds waves. Very much the Flash way. Strong items for Rika already. So if Rika can show us a good performance on the Gangplank, he is very good into all the enemy. Very good. Very, very strong into MF as well. MF basically can't teamfight into Gangplank. She struggles a lot. And then, the hero is not strong enough to kill him 1v1 anymore.
Especially since he can cleanse the Death Realm.
Yeah, I think there comes a point where Gangplank can threaten on the Mordekaiser.
Oh, absolutely.
That point is still far away. I think he still needs like 2 more crit items to be able to do that. But yeah, he already is on the brink of outscaling the enemy top laner, which is not a good sign for EVOS, because they started off with a great top lane advantage. Now it's even CS, better items for Rika on a better scaling champion.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a pretty much dead even game, as the gold says. Really, what's going to break this apart? I'm honestly not sure. It might be down to a VCS flip.
I think we are far away from deciding this game, honestly.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at Soul to decide this game, and Soul is still far away. So next Dragon will spawn in 40 seconds. It would be great for EVOS to get to Soul Point. Not sure if FTV will allow that, because their items great. Look at all the items completed now for FTV. They should fight for the next Dragon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they should win this fight. There's still no IE for DivKid, so IE advantage in the bot lane. If you look at the gold, there should be enough gold to complete the IE though. So
no, he's only got 900 gold. Wait, does he have the pickaxe already?
Yeah, he has the pickaxe.
He's close.
And there's Morelos as well for Parquet, so better itemization for Victory.
I mean, to be fair,
Victory
he's
had
got
the
the
choice.
Oblivion Orb as well. He's probably got
Yeah,
Morelos.
Oblivion Orb is good though.
Yeah,
Oblivion
that's
Orb is a
true.
good item. You just don't upgrade. So Morelos in this game, once again, absolutely no reason to go Morelos.
Yep.
You're not scared of the orange shield. You really are not. So
But this looks like it's just going to be the free dragon. FTV just hasn't fought for it. And this is now sole point for EVOS.
yeah,
That's
very
really
bad
disappointing.
reset time. Very bad reset timer for the police. He wanted to go for VCS before because it's obviously very important into TH. That said, I think with his items, he could potentially even outplay TH in the Death Realm and win a 1v1 there.
There's a lot of ults being used now. The Death Realm has come in.
Look at the
Hero
damage
and Tiger are in there. Unfortunately, he's going to pop out in the middle of the enemy team. Can he get anything? Goes into the Zhonya's. Still doing a lot of damage with that passive.
So
and now the team is here. Sword with an absolutely massive kick. And he goes down, but it is truly an are you not entertained moment as it is already a 2-for-1. And FTV have to run for the hills. Really bad pathing there. Victory. Lucky he had that stopwatch. But it's not going to matter as he just dies. B. Ooh, very, very close there. I don't know why Victory passed that way.
Kind of broken open for EVOS. It looked like FTV would be able to win the fight, especially chain combination right after TH got out of the Death Realm. So he dealt like 4,000 AoE damage. Then a very big Death Grasp from TH turned the fight around once again. Police couldn't do anything anymore. Victory in the end went down after pathing very badly. So even though FTV looked like FTV would win this fight,
Thorn as well went huge.
Yeah, Thorn, the kick. I want to see the kick again. So look at this. Good awareness for Diffkit to go for the turret, but then he loses a lot of his HP. TH, strangely enough, goes for Braum. I'm not really sure why. So usually you want to go for Braum if the MF wants to ult, but there was no reason for MF to ult. Death Grasp, and Thorn kicking it back. A lot of AoE damage. In the end, Diffkit still almost full HP. So FTV utilizing their very good. Okay, as I say that they throw everything at a stopwatch, but whatever, they still got the kill, and now EVOS up to a great lead, soul point as well. So they should be able to make this game about the dragon and close out with the soul.
Yep, absolutely. They definitely should be able to do that. FTV, though, we do see that these fights are still close. It came down to some very good plays from EVOS, so if those don't come in, definitely FTV could still turn a fight on its head. Perhaps we'll finally see Kuriko have a bit of an impact. And we're commenting on him a lot, but this card 6 pick truly doesn't make a huge amount of sense. Imagine if there'd been a Sejuani in this.
Yep. I still can't believe they went for Kha'Zix here. It's so useless. It's so unbelievably useless. They are basically playing for. It's just a little bit of pressure here and there.
Ooh, Divkid has to flash. Can they finish it out? No.
How
he
fast
does manage to
he
get
is,
away.
Though.
A strut.
Yeah, that's MF's power. Strut coming in handy. Aphelios would have been dead. So once again, showing why MF.
Seriously. Doesn't have that movement speed. What does he do? And EVOS will move in, take vision control with all those ults expended. Rika still just down in the bot lane, doing gangplank things.
Yeah, we're looking at a big item completion. It's 1 minute left for the next Drake that might decide this game, so he really needs to get this IE done, which is why he stays in bot lane. And there seems to be
Parquet actually coming out very much on the wrong side of that one. Doesn't want to try and 1v1 a Gangplank.
That was super close. Rika almost got the chain on him.
Absolutely.
And the chain critted, so he would have been dead there. Rika should be able to get this turret as well, so this is now enough money for IE. Just reset quickly, please. Rika also hitting level 16 now, so one of the strongest ultimates in the game maxed out, which means they are ready to fight for the next dragon, and this fight they need to win.
Yep, absolutely. This dragon is super important. But with Rika showing that he is a very, very strong pirate, definitely a solid chance that they do win it, as the resets are coming in. Thorn going back now. potentially a tiny bit late, but he should be there in plenty of time for the dragon to spawn. And with everyone on the bottom side of the map, we should be having the 5v5 to decide the soul.
And every support main is every support main's heart is warmed by the inventory of FTV, because a lot of pink wards there. Sure. Good to see. They invested a lot to get a lot of vision here, dragon, but EVOS might just brute force this, and it's risky for them to brute force this dragon fight, because they run into two of the strongest AoE abilities, red carpet as well as the cannon barrage coming down. So it's probably better for them to have FTV start the dragon like they do now.
They are. The dragon going very low. There is those two AoE abilities coming in, doing a lot, but the bullet time is in. Tiger intercepting most of it. Dragon on 2,800 health, and Hero is on the side. We'll be able to potentially get an instant kill, but never mind. Drake should be going down. Yep, Kuriko absolutely can't get in. This will be Infernal Soul being picked up, and now do they continue the fight? Ooh, police QSS is the hook. And they do just disengage. EVOS is happy with their prize.
Yeah, this should be game, honestly. Infernal Soul, most of the time, not enough to game, but Knife's Edge. So this should now be enough to tip the scales to get them the biggest. Yeah. The Baron still very much on the slower side, but all the other champs have enough items now to have enough damage. 5-man Baron is almost always enough to burst on the Baron pretty quickly, even if your composition is not great at Baron. Yeah. With 5 members, it doesn't really matter. Rika very risky in the bot lane. And Rika, I mean, he's super strong. He has a lot of items, but his team is just not doesn't offer him enough assistance in the team fights so that he can carry.
He can't one be.
I like this ult again. No. And Kuriko still hasn't done anything in this game.
Been completely useless, and the teleport coming in. EVOS looking to potentially end the game. And speaking of Karzik, he gets splattered once again all over the windscreen. Gonna have to turn the wipers on for that one, as he's now 0-3 and has had basically zero impact on the game. And this is not a good situation whatsoever, as they will send Hero back just to answer the Rika threat while the rest of the team march up mid.
Which is a very bad call for EVOS.
Yeah, they should have just kept Hero there. Should have just traded.
Could have tried to end the game. Okay, looking at the death timers, maybe not. So now they have to be a little bit careful, because their top lane is there to teleport, to join them with teleport. Maybe have to be not quite aware of that fact, because I think they could have re-engaged here. Even 3v4, you still have 2 super strong IE users on your side, and the enemy team has 4 without their strongest member, which is TH still. So a little bit of an opportunity lost for FTV, but yeah, the game looks very comfortable for EVOS now. There's another Baron in 4 minutes, lining up greatly with the next dragon as well, which is Elder, of course. So very easy to close out this game for EVOS. Just don't throw in the next 4 minutes, and then go for Elder. Easy teamfight victory, close out the game.
Did you check? I didn't look as the timer popped up. Did you check if the timer's telling us a lie? Because we've had that problem.
Oh. I didn't actually check.
Have to find out. We'll have to live in mystery. But I feel like it's probably about right.
No, it should be correct, because the timer was the same. And Dragon went down a little bit before Baron. And Baron and Elder Dragon time are the same, right? They're both 6 minutes. So should be correct this time. Yeah.
Good. Always good to see. The production always getting better, as did mention. We do really appreciate it, as Kuriko has to leave his own jungle, getting out of there. What? Actually, I'm not curious. You can tell exactly what evolutions he has. Of course, he has the Wars and the Spike Racks.
Yep. But, no resets coming in, so not even the teamfight dream scenario possible for him.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you pretty much never go resets before.
Yeah, I know.
Plus, he's not going to get resets.
And ult.
A lot of damage there onto Div Kid, but gets a lot of shielding. This is still a good start to the fight. And weaving that hook in is B. Rika has to go golden, but he's in the middle of the enemy team. No. The pirate is dead. Sorn charging forward to try and get the finish onto Tiger. But okay, Infernal Soul, I guess.
Infernal Soul, yeah, right. So that should be the end of the game. Rika, the most They started off the fight with a great burst on DivKit, but not enough follow-up damage, not enough dive, not enough CC to lock down DivKit in the end. He stays alive, big shield as well. So now, this game should be a lot of damage.
Oh my god. Oh, Police doing his absolute best to pop off, but in the end, he goes down into the lantern with his wife. And Kuriko, can you justify your pick here right at the end? I don't think so. And we will be going to Game 3 of FTV versus EVOS. An unbelievable situation.
For EVOS, they played a 5v4 game. Enemy jungler never connected to the game, so luckily for them, they can get back on track now, 1-1 against FTV. And I mean, I'm still not really convinced with EVOS. What do you say?
I'm not convinced by them at all. If they'd been a Sejuani on the side of FTV, they could just win that game.
Yeah, I think how they played out the top lane advantage very bad. They let Rika come back into game and actually dominate most of the side lane. He was highest level, highest farm, very strong items as well. So yeah, I mean, Hero did look miles ahead of BO3. Please never sub BO3 back in, especially if he's the only champ he can play he can almost play is Renekton.
So harsh. True, but also so harsh. We do have to select an MVP for Game 2, and we can't pick Kuriko for EVOS.
Oh man. Code Violet, definitely. No, not Violet. The code for picking that absolutely useless jungle champ. No, I'd say TH.
Yeah, I think.
Great game, great death realms, good death grasps as well to dominate fight. One good Zorn play as well, but I think this time Hero is a little bit more impactful.
Yep, I agree. I will lock in TH for our MVP. Looked very, very good on the Mordekaiser. We'll have to find out if FTV can bounce back in Game 3, or they will lose their dream. EVOS will bounce back after the shaky start in about 4.5 minutes. Thanks for joining us, guys. We always appreciate it. Glad to have you here. We'll be back in about 4.5, 5 minutes, depending on how long the VCS production takes. So see you then.
See you.
G'day. Welcome back for Game 3 of EVOS, taking on FTV. Who would have thought we'd be here?
Yeah, very surprising already. We're kind of in Game 4 already, because the first game waiting for the first game to start. So a very long series at the start of the day.
Yeah.
FTV looking great in Game 1, looking better than before in Game 2 as well, but the draft sadly didn't. So they could have been 2-0 now, but they went for Kha'Zix. And
I'm just glad that EVOS managed to catch the bug that was causing all the delays.
Yeah.
Really took out some vengeance on it. That was definitely removed.
Yeah, it makes sense that Kha'Zix didn't have anything left in that game, right? Because he was responsible for the first game victory already when he won over all the computers on the stadium. So kind of makes sense. Kha'Zix couldn't fire on any cylinders anymore because he blew his load in the first game.
Oh my god.
Sadly.
I'm going to have to explain that idiom to you after the broadcast.
Okay.
And we do see Hero picking up the official MVP as well. Makes sense. He had a super good Mordekaiser game. Overall. Yeah. So, EVOS probably back in the driver's seat of the series, as they should have been. This should never have gone to Game 3. The fact that it's even gone to Game 3 is already very shaky for EVOS.
Yeah, they won over their real lineup, so yeah, let's just ignore Game 1. No idea why BO3 was in. Now Hero is back here, and he's dominating top lane. Yeah, good to see. Hero is the starting top lane and should always be. BO3 is not a VCS caliber player. We'll head straight back into Champ Select for the third game of the day.
We will very, very quickly, and will we see the Nocturne ban once again? Yep, we do. They don't want to go up against it. They don't want to go up against the Rika special.
Yep, once again, J4 band is stable right now for FTV. The tactic coming into EVOS's games, which makes sense because before the last game, Swan hadn't won on a different champ. So now the first time Swan has won on something not named J4 this season. I still would really like to see him on a more farming jungler, because his Lee Sin has left a little bit to be desired. Last game he found one very good kick, but other than that,
Yeah, I would like to see him not on Lee Sin, if I'm totally honest.
To be fair to him, he had great early part. He was actually ahead of. It's not something you should expect. Kha'Zix's much more of the farming jungler. But we're back to set first pick, and that seems
first
to be
over Aphelios. Admittedly,
this
Aphelios
seems to be the read
pick
today, at least for these two teams. Yeah, I know you all want to play Shyvana. Yeah, come on, hover something real.
Hover the Teemo if you're gonna hover. And I would be very surprised if we don't actually see the Syndra lock-in, and there it is. What will
maybe Shyvana and Syndra are close to each other?
True.
Vietnamese client, yeah.
Well, they are in the English client as well.
Yeah, they're not quite next to each other, but yeah, they're close to each other. Yeah. And another Swan Lee Sin, so yeah, seems to be EVOS is very, very much set in their ways today. Want to play Syndra, want to play Lee Sin. No On, no Soraka. They still heavily question VCS's practice environment if no one is willing to pick up these absolutely broken champs here.
Yeah, particularly the Soraka. I think the Yuumi might take a little bit more of practice, but the Soraka should definitely be coming in, and Police will get his Lucian for the third game in the row.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see EVOS made the read. Okay, have and the least. Don't think you pick Aphelios here, and they don't.
They pick Vladimir.
Well, that is very surprising.
A good hero champ.
It's a very good hero champ and quite a good champ into set as well. I don't think there was a need to pick Vlad this early. They could have just picked Aphelios here and secured a strong bot lane and then go last pick Vlad, because I don't think there's any chance Harry would have banned Vlad here in the second rotation. So, strange choice.
Pretty much a 0% chance, and also potentially going to be a lot of AP on that top side.
Yeah.
Syndra and the Vladimir. The band's looking a little bit disjointed as well. Rise and Braum not really pinching any pools.
So setting up the MF to succeed even more, especially would not have to play against. Oh, there's the ban. Okay, never mind me.
Aphelios still open.
But yeah, also breaking up the Braum Lucian combination that FTV has played the last two games. So now Tiger has to show something different.
Surely this is. I mean, you don't have to lock Aphelios here. You could secure a priority support. Yep. Okay. They pick the Thresh.
Makes sense. So they still have the option of flexing Syndra bot lane and counter picking mid lane. They could run into severe damage profile if they opt for that. They would have to go for AD mid lane, and there are not many. You could go Kiana.
Potentially.
Potentially, if there's something
they
you
want
can
the
punish.
Zoe though, and there it is.
Yeah, no, I was talking about EVOS though.
Sorry.
Kiana into Zoe, not the greatest. So FTV, Zoe, just a stable mid laner, very, very strong right now. Yeah, why not? Very strong early game composition once again built by FTV. They seem to really like their. Okay, this is the first Alistar of the season.
Okie doke. Didn't run it in the game where you had Yasuo, but you'll run it in this one. Sure thing, FTV.
Good point.
Leona open.
Alistar.
Daughterless open. Go for the Alistar.
Alistar potentially better at catching out on ADC. Potentially stronger into Aphelios. And that's also why this is now going to... Okay.
I like that, actually. The Alistair kind of does cut the Aphelios off. It's hard to play Aphelios into Ali.
Yeah, very elusive team composition for EVOS. Look at that. They are so hard.
Yeah. This is going to be very hard to force fights, for sure. So, which team comp do you favour? I think it's very difficult for FTV to get anything done.
Yeah, I think EVOS's team composition is the stronger one. They are for sure ways to win for FTV. Again, they have strong early game playmaking. They have very good mid game in Lucian and Zoe as well. Set also quite a good mid game champ. So if Set can get ahead, Rika against TH maybe can accelerate to an earlier item power spike, and then just continuously dive mid lane with a tanky Set tanking up the first part, then Alistair taking the second part of the dive, and you have strong backline with a lot of catch potential. That's a way to win for FTV, but once again they run into severe, very, very severe range problems in this game. Look at Lucian Zoe as a backline. Yeah.
Which seems weird to say when you have a Zoe, but it is true.
Yeah. I think, yeah, EVOS is the much easier to execute team comp. The later the game goes, the easier it is for them to... They have a lot of poke on Ezreal. They can go for flanks on Vladimir as well. Hero also very good Vladimir. Shown that time and time again. So a little bit of start checking with Syndra going on there as well. So if anyone gets caught by Thresh or Syndra, you can just burst him down. I like EVOS's comp quite a lot. I think their comp is very solid, very easy to execute, and scales fine. Not the strongest scaling ever, but for sure outscales FTV's comp. So the ball definitely on the side of FTV's fields. It's to make something happen here. They need to hit the ground running once again this game. We have said that in every single game of the series so far, but they've
managed
drafted.
to do it in one.
Yep, they've drafted red all the time, so seems to be the theme today.
Have to see.
Why not?
You're gonna have to see how well they draw in this one. See if they can get into the direct damage rather than drawing too many lands. We see anything in the early game. We could see Victory getting caught out, but B will just miss the hook. Not great.
Nah.
Not the best start.
Well,
ooh, wow, FTV's already got Dragon Soul. Look at that.
Nice.
Wow, 1 minute in.
VCS gave them a little bit of an extra chance to win some games.
A pretty big one.
Let's see if you can win games with Dragon Soul at level 1. No, of course, just a visual mistake.
Of course. Oh my. But having a look, do we see anything interesting in the runes? Not really.
Can you give us some insight into the top lane match?
Vlad should win.
Played against Vladimir before?
Once. And he was really bad, and I went 6-0 in lane. So I don't really know how the matchup is meant to go. Because that's not how it's meant to go. As Rika does start with the Face Breaker, so he can get some good damage at level 1. Early levels definitely Set wins, because it's Vladimir.
Of course.
But once you hit that level 9, like, what can Set do?
I think even level 5 should be enough for Vladimir to dominate this matchup. Also, really like the rune choice. Very good right now. The second rune choice you could go for is gone. There's no Clapter anymore. So it's very much the premier choice to go face rush. It's very good into the set as well. And you see Rika loses just trading into minions. Even though TH had 2 auto attacks and 1 Q on him. Rika lost 100 HP just to minion auto attacks. So.
A lot of damage being dealt to DivKid, but Tiger takes a lot on the way out as well. I mean, the thing about this top lane matchup is both of them have ridiculous sustain. Zed has his passive and Vlad has Q. Like, the trades barely even matter. Though, of course, Rika
has already burned both his seals.
Ooh, Victory.
But early on.
Okay, looking for it. There's the real flash and the real heal. Ooh, the Q hits a minion and Victory does manage to get away.
The bodyguard coming in. Victory. Very lucky to have minions on his side to...
Oh, but never mind. As he gets scattered the weak, why was he up in the lane? Had Kuriko there, but now Kuriko's in some trouble. There will be Elise in Q. And Sorn picks up the kill. What an absolute disaster. That's the
And
FTV
hey, we can
we
go
know.
back to one of our talking points at the start of the season, the reunition of Parker and Son. The two players have played together before, and they are finally back on one team. We've not seen too much of them in the 2v2 mid lane jungle combo, but this game starts off with 2 kills for EVOS, both jungler and mid laner, now on 1-0-1.
Yep, a very, very questionable decision for sure by Victory. Really not sure why he was sticking around. Would love to know what call that was. Whose
I
call
think
that was, but bit of a brain fade.
He felt way too safe because he had the stolen flash. So he had the stolen flash. He thought, okay, he can just wave. But he just didn't see the Scatter of the Week coming. And that is the easiest kill of all time in the mid lane. It was so free.
Yeah, how do you not see the Scatter of the Week coming?
Yeah, because that is the time where we question mark ping the enemy.
Yep. Ooh, Rika going into the top lane
doing?
is pretty low. Does he have the Haymaker? No, but he has the flash. And it's a solo kill for Rika.
Yeah, no W used for TH. No flash either. Could have W flashed away easily.
Yep. Dawn having a repeat visit. The Scatter of the Week does miss, but everything else is landing. Victory is in a lot of trouble. Parquet did get slapped up, but he just gets kicked to death.
Son, be careful.
Ooh,
Don't step into a range. That was close.
Very close.
Unlucky for Victory. He hit the important to send Parker to sleep. There was not a lot of damage still on Son, so Son locking down the kill. Another kill to him. We questioned his Lee Sin priority, but this game he's finally showing up and dominating the early game. Yeah,
and thankfully, when a Kung Fu master decides to get in a fight with a little girl, typically you can just kick her to death. And so far, Son doing a very good job.
She's an ancient goddess. Come on.
Don't you start that. She's a little girl, and I hate her. Get her out of my game. But yeah, as you said though, in all seriousness, Son off to a very, very good start, finally justifying the Lee Sin priority over some of his other champions. But overall, this mid lane is a little bit over. It's going to be very, very hard for Victory to, in fact, get the victory in his lane.
Very big feels bad, man. If you have to play against Syndra, she's level 6, you're level 5, and you don't have any summoners. Sits on penetration, so you're looking at almost true damage from her ult. You're like, yep. If they make one mistake, I'm instantly dead. Nice, very good feeling.
Yeah, another thing to comment on, despite getting a solo kill, Rika is only 10 gold ahead, just because he's been zoned off farm.
And I have to say, I absolutely hate his itemization.
Going straight for the exes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't think you should go Executioners this early into Vladimir. It's not the heal that wins the trades early on for Vladimir. Vladimir actually not. We have seen him being like a straight up solo cut, right, for Rika. So I think you should just invest in more cooldown reduction, a little bit more damage, and try to go for more solo, because this now actually gives Vladimir time to get on his item timings. And I mean, you just went for an item you never really want to build on set that doesn't really give you anything of big value. Not a fan.
I'm not either. I think this was a perfect position to potentially go for Triforce. You had the time to scale, you had the solo kill, but nope, you went Xyz, and now I think you're kind of forced to go into either full tank or Black Cleaver, which is not. I don't like hearing it. Makes me sad. Kuriko is in the bot lane.
There's a lot against Aatroxes as well, and most of the time I don't agree with that choice either, because I think the Aatrox will then still win the lane, even if you cut
this could be a really badly timed push. And there is the Alistair engaged. DivKid does manage to E away. B flashes. There's a hook, but it doesn't find anything. Gank is
at least in just ignored his bot lane and took the dragon anyway.
Yeah, they were fine.
It's an Ezreal. So we just saw the reason they went for Ezreal. Very easy to dodge ganks. And Kuriko, after very bad performance on the Buck, is now sitting on the land shard. Great idea.
I can't leave the void.
I should
Really,
go back
really
to
keen
human
for the
characters, I think.
Yep, absolutely.
Probably.
As there's a good little trade out of Rika, but unfortunately it just doesn't matter because Vlad heals a lot. Really, that Eggsy's coming in super clutch. As
I mean, he
Vladimir
cut the healing from the Q, right? So Vladimir would have been full HP if
would
not
have
for the
been
Xyz.
yeah, exactly. Now he's still winning the trade, but not as hard. Wow.
The
Xyz was a bad call. Let's see how much it matters. Can Rika potentially stop the Vladimir scaling? As we said, this is a super, super good champion for Hero. He's probably looked better on Vladimir than he has on anything else.
One of his best, for sure.
One of a gank on him.
Camille is very
Tiger
good
is here, but yeah, you just puddle the combo. That was never going to happen.
Please stop trying to play through Vladimir.
Well, Police is up here now, and he just walks away.
Okay, so the trade is called Rift Herald against bot lane race. So bot lane race should yield at least 2 platings, maybe 3. Rift Herald with a little bit of race in the top lane should yield a little bit more. So in the end, advantageous trade for FTV, but not good enough.
Yeah, DivKid didn't have a wave, so they actually didn't get too much on the other side.
Okay, so a little bit more advantageous for FTV. If
Rika's caught, there is so much damage from Sorn. He goes in. The showstopper is used, but the flash to finish it off. Sorn in a lot of trouble. Can he find his way to the blast cone? No, gets smited.
I think you got sniped, right? I think there was a Praise Seeker.
Might have been a Praise Seeker. I'm not sure. Hopefully we get a replay.
Void Seeker.
Praise Seeker. It's Praise Seeker.
Yeah, okay. Void Seeker is Kaiser's ability, right?
Correct.
So, in the end, not quite as favorable for FTV. They got a kill, and now they will get a little bit more money, but they also gave DivKid enough time to that. DivKid needs to get pushing, though. Seems like DivKid is just not fast enough. So, in the end, FTV running away with almost even gold again after heavily losing mid lane, I should say, early on in the game.
I was going to say, heavily losing mid game, casting with Nostradamus. Not a hard prediction to make, but still. Yeah, that was that passage of play was massively in favor of FTV. EVOS sort of really dropped the ball, honestly. DivKid won't be able to get anything more in the bot lane. We'll have to start backing off.
Why is he glowing?
It's that skin when he hits max passive. He goes Super Saiyan.
Interesting.
It's interesting for sure.
So we've now slowed down a little bit more in the mid game once again. The early game it was way more games, but back to our original pace. Good for EVOS. They have the scaling draft, and they're still ahead in gold. So if you had to give percentages for the team, for the likelihood of the team is winning, I'd say EVOS is looking at 65% maybe, and FTV needs to once again accelerate the game. I kind of sound like a broken record, but it's every game is the same draft, so
yeah, pretty much.
What can I say?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to repeat your points when they're repeating their draft. And Police does get a decent chunk there on to Parquet. I don't think it's going to matter. Dragon's still quite far away. Whole minute.
So, Ocean or Cloud? What is your call?
Cloud. Well, we haven't had a Cloud. I think it's going to be the boring
I'd like to see Cloud as well.
I wouldn't like
Cloud Vladimir is super fun.
True. Ocean Vladimir is even more fun.
Ocean Vladimir is just disgusting.
Cloud
Vladimir is fun.
I mean, Ocean Vladimir is fun to play. I haven't done it, but I don't need to have done it to know
Everything with the Ocean is fun to, especially tanks or champs that can sustain or have immobility and fight.
Yeah.
Untargetability.
True. I played set with Ocean. A lot of fun. You do a lot of regen behind your shield. Parquet is getting collapsed on a little bit, but everything will miss. Be just fine.
Yep, good positioning, very good defense.
Sorn caught out. Can he get to the lantern? No, he cannot, as he was in the absolute bounce house. Down he goes, and that should be Dragon.
Yep, which is great for FTV, because they stopped the Dragon Snowball for EVOS, and here, Sorn is too far away. Should be an easy... Oh, Kuroko might be in a little bit of trouble if TH decides to go for the all-in, which he could do.
We are going back in here. B caught out just a touch. And he has gone in. Kuroko's dead. Can the steal come in? And he has!
Oh, no!
No! DivKid secures it. Hero goes down, but it doesn't matter.
Insult to injury.
Oh my god. Oh no. EVOS gets the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, they get everything. They had a cake and ate it too. Oh no. Look at that. FTV. They are in a very bad position right now in this game. Dragon Snow is coming in for EVOS. EVOS is getting strong. Next Dragon, they will be able to fight for sure. Look at their item timings. Aswell will probably look at 2 items, which is the strongest point, relative point in the game for Aswell. Second item already in the workings for Vladimir. Look at this. So Vladimir was not visible for the enemy. Flash. Okay, Flash was very aggressive. And now, great
went
timing.
Down to 80.
Oh man, that is so frustrating to deal with. I really liked how TH played that one. He hit on the bush all the time. And Astrid showed in the bot lane, so it was very weird for FTV. FTV did really not anticipate Vladimir to be there. If Astrid is in the bot lane, there's no need for Vladimir to be there too. That would be very inefficient farming, very inefficient experience assignment as well. So you can't really blame Kuroko for this. There was absolutely no reason other than TH looking for the kill for him to be there. So interesting little cute play for TH.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's paid off because, as you said, it was the Dragon Snowball. And I'd like to point out I am the superior analyst, as it is.
Yep, you are.
Bow down. Of course. It's just a 50-50. Yeah, this is pretty bad for FTV on a lot of levels. The Infernal Drake itself doesn't do a huge amount, but the fact that going into their really powerful point on the map, they will be able to threaten the Dragon Soul. How does FTV deal with this?
Yeah, so right now they want to go for the mid lane turret. I think the next Dragon might be... they might make the call to give up the next Dragon to push something in top lane, maybe.
Oh, there's the hook onto the Zoe as she comes out of the paddle pool. And she instantly dies.
Victory. What's going on?
Out here looking like defeat. He's not having a good one. Hero chasing Rika off. Nothing this set can do. Ooh, but is a little bit caught out here, but he goes into the puddle. Can he find anything? And no, everyone's here. Can he get a trade kill? He can! And it's a 1-for-1 in a 4v1. Oh dear.
Yeah, this game's so over. This game is so over.
Yeah, how do they stop this?
Vladimir is strong. Yeah. Vladimir is strong, Parker is strong, DivKid is scaling up and has a very cheap itemization, so even though he didn't get any kills, he is still going to hit his item spikes faster than the police is going to. So yeah, this game, I mean, we're still playing VCS, so there could be a little bit of ping pong action, and a little bit of catch ball, how is it called? Catching ball? No. It's called in Japanese. I didn't actually know what it's called. When you practice for baseball,
like just playing catch.
Playing catch. Okay, that's the word. Okay, yeah.
You throw a ball back and forth.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah. We got there. It's tricky. It's a tricky one. Old English language. But
Kachiboru, by the way, in Japanese. That's why
I thought. All right, weeb.
That's why I thought it would be the same in English, but sadly, Japanese betrayed me. Okay, so
don't speak anime. But we do have EVOS flexing their lead, pushing the vision up as they go for this mid lane tower, and assuming there is no
DivKid already.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. Assuming no massive throw from EVOS is going to be very hard for FTV to find their way back in.
EVOS basically has to throw multiple times. They have to throw at Baron and give FTV a Baron.
Hero is getting engaged on. It's a 1v3 this time. Can he get a kill back anyway? I don't think he quite will be able to. There's the Rek'Sai ult and the Haymaker, and he does manage to go down. But it is, at what cost? As there's the hook. Tiger goes down. Rika has a lot of grit, but no health. There's the big Haymaker shield to save him. Culling sectioning off the fight as well. But in the end, it's a 1-for-1.
Trouble bubble. B needs to...
B blocking. Well done. Police is on Sorn, and he doesn't get over the wall. Has to use the flash. Here comes the TP. This is really, really big. Good scatter the weak to potentially get them further out. Parquet takes an interesting lantern.
Ezreal on the mid lane is just pushing waves.
Yeah, but this is going to be a lot of death. I don't think Parquet is going to be able to get away from this one, and no, he's not. And this
should instantly be the dragon as well. They're resetting. I don't like...
they should just be taking drag. Sorn's going to get this.
Very risky call for Sorn to go for the dragon now. Okay, he actually saw them backporting, so it's not as risky, and I like this call a lot, because now FTV thought they had the time to reset and go a reinforced dragon once again, maybe look for a better item timing on the dragon fight. But instantly Sorn, who was still on the map, not visible to FTV, because there's a pink ward, sneaks the dragon, which means soul point for EVOS, and in the end, even though EVOS heavily the fight and got outplayed there, still 2k gold ahead, still got 2 turrets and the dragon, so everything aligned for them.
Yep. They're one dragon away from the soul. And it is, as you say, looking very, very good. It's going to be very, very hard for FTV to do anything.
There's still no item for Rika, by the way. Oh, you just finished one. Okay, there we go. I think he just finished his cape thingy once again. There we go. Deadman's plate. Yeah.
Yep.
I
hate this build.
Yeah, it's not great.
No,
I think we're once again waiting for Dragon. So for FTV needs to find some kills. Parquet defensive. The Parquet's position was defensively enough, so he didn't get caught. Tiger on his Alistar, if we want to evaluate this first Alistar of the game, of the season. Yeah, I think he's played a good Alistar. Didn't really land
look
on
at that damage.
The correct targets. But yeah, TH. Oh my god.
Okay. Div Kid now with Tiger. Kuriko is coming in. There's the arcane shift. He should be able to get away.
Playing Alistar into Ezreal is not great.
Yeah, it's not a lot of fun.
Oh god. Police now.
Police using the culling. Culling does less damage than one Ezreal Q.
2 Qs. Yeah,
that is the state of the game that we are in.
Yeah.
Baron has been started up.
Just died to Vladimir as well.
Oh, cool.
So,
okay.
This game is so incredibly over. It's really, there's nothing FTV can do.
FTV did their best.
Yeah, good effort. At least they won a game this time against BO3, so not against the real team, but it's a first step. So right.
I can't believe BO3.
I still don't understand why. Yeah. It has to feel good for Hero, though, coming in and saving his team from the utter humiliation that would be losing to FTV.
Yeah, truly, they were holding out for a hero.
Yeah.
Had to be strong, and fresh, and he had to be larger than life. And he truly has been, particularly on this Vlad, has made some absolutely sick plays. As we do get the replay.
He didn't sing, I have to say.
I don't think anyone wants that, trust me. Trust me, especially not a song sung by a woman. No one wants that. Still, FTV has to at least feel a little bit better about themselves after this one. They're not, done. They're not going to lose every game this split.
The jungle approach, I think. The biggest thing, jungle picks. Police also, I mean, maybe it's not on Police. I'm not sure what the problem here with the ADC pool is. Police for sure looks very good on the Lucian, but they need to be able to play meta champs as well.
Oh, Hero is caught out, goes into the stopwatch at 1 health. But it doesn't matter because he was just buying time as his team.
Once again,
you've got to hit the tower with that W. Tower doesn't dodge, man.
He should have played Singed, because his playstyle definitely is the Singed this game. He's just inting inside lanes and buying time for his team. He's 5 deaths, so yeah. He has been caught a lot, but I mean, his team is still accruing advantages, so whatever. He's
Ooh,
like,
Rika,
okay,
here he comes and ults the wrong way and dies.
Yeah, not the most impressive set.
No.
Still, really don't agree with set first pick. I really hope Flash shows a little bit of a better draft. Flash's draft, to use a term that has emerged in the LEC terminology a lot, has been their drafts have been very cocktail.
Yeah.
A lot of
one day we'll come up with our own terminology.
A lot of back and forth. They had the worst draft of the very first match they played. Then they drafted well against GAM. Sometimes they go back to their very strange drafts. Slater has still not played a single game of Aphelios, so ooh. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see Police play something other than the Lucian. He is good on the champion, but yeah. I feel like he's got to be able to play something else.
Pigeonholes their team composition already into being early game focused. Because with Lucian bot lane, you always run into the problems of having no range.
Hero could get caught again. This time there's no objective to trade on, so he actually gets away. Decides not to give them the kill.
No pool, so he's quite squishy for the next fight.
And this is Dragon Soul.
10 seconds.
See?
Last ditch effort for FTV coming up. They can't win team fights right now, so maybe they can go for a steal. Kuroko might
can just go for the miracle fight. Parquet's actually super out of position here. Flashes towards the pit. Could get something done. Police is doing a lot of damage. Kuroko in the back line as well.
Rika.
Down goes the pit. Yeah, Rika absolutely. Bang! Getting a lot done here. Has the Conqueror. Should be able to get some healing done. There's the suplex. This could be FTV at least getting something done. But no, as you say, Vlad is still alive. Sorn is very low and actually gets spotted out. This might prevent the Dragon. He should just threaten the inhib. That'll force them back and should get a free Dragon Soul. And
once again, at the end, Zorn comes from somewhere in the enemy jungle. Takes it. That has been a pattern in this game, and this will be Dragon Soul. Kind of last-ditch effort. Actually, quite a good team fight for FTV. I really liked Rika. Yeah, Rika from the flank had a lot of impact. Locked down the kill on Divkid. First death of the game for Divkid as well. But then there's still Vladimir you couldn't really contain. He's not 16 yet and still killed everyone. So he's also going to buy Morelos. So nice itemization choices for Vladimir coming in. Yeah, there we go. As I said.
Look, I've said it before. If any of you out there don't like LS, I know some people in the community don't. I like him. Don't get me wrong, I like him. But if any of you out there really don't like LS, just DM him on Twitter, just clips of the VCS. And just make sure there's Morelos on screen. I think he'll die. I don't think he'll be able to handle it.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, the Morelos on the side of actually understandable, in my opinion. There's a lot of healing on the other team.
Oh, yeah,
Morelos on FTV side.
I think it's fine on Victory.
Justifiable. Yeah, it's not great on Vladimir. For sure, very bad item right now for Vladimir. Who's healing on the other team? Like, no one.
Yeah, the Conqueror.
There's a little bit of lifesteal on Police, but he'd burst Police anyway. And, I mean, the set, who cares?
Summon a heal. Summon a heal, man.
Yeah.
Gotta spend all that gold to nullify some of Summon a heal.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to matter. I think they would be able to buy kind of whatever they want, just to flex on them.
Also, we'll finally get to see Cloud Soul Vladimir. I'm hyped.
Yeah, that is going to be a lot of fun as they go for a pick onto Div Kid, but don't find him. They just walk away.
Also, Elder Dragon now, a possibility to close out the game for EVOS, and 4 minutes. It's a little bit risky for them as well. That could actually be the objective that is strong enough to get FTV back into the game. So now they're just trying to split push bot lane, also the right lane to attack to open up the possibility of a cross map.
They're going to try and force Baron.
Yeah.
Or at least a lot of.
Their Baron is decent. It's not the fastest. It's it's okay. Ever since the Ezreal changes came in, Ezreal way better at Baron. So yeah, I think it's fine for him.
Ivkin could be a little bit caught out here, but nope, he's
or
Ezreal.
is it Kuriko who's caught out? Oh, he's level 16 right now. He's a very strong Ezreal, an independent Ezreal to go for any boot camps. So
strong, independent Ezreal who don't need no Thrash. He just gets away very, very easily. How does FTV possibly come back in this? Stealing Elder, I guess, as you said.
I think stealing Elder and the police having that need to happen here. I don't really see how police can stay alive against Cloud Soul level 17, 3 items, or 4 items if you want to count boots. Vladimir on the enemy team. That is very hard to deal with as the champ that is Lucian. Yeah, Lucian already struggles into Vladimir. Now Vladimir has infinite movement speed as well. So
yeah, I mean they just can't. How are they ever going to do anything about Hero when he has this Cloud Soul? He can even go for his side lane int plays and probably still be able to run away. And the inside track, oh my god, Rika went for the flank. It hasn't gone too well. Does get the suplex though, and Sword is blown up. And I don't think EVOS is going to be able to answer back. So, good
nicely
pick.
done. Yeah, very nicely done for FTV. Delaying the dragon, potential dragon pressure as well. Now with bot lane constantly pushing in for TH, he has to back off or be a little bit more careful. As I say that, he's not doing any of that. He's just pressing on.
They know where the rest of the team is, though.
I mean, and
he
doesn't have a reason to back off. Yeah, FTV now with a Hail Mary Baron, which is not that bad of a call in my opinion. The enemy jungler is still dead. Yeah, and Vladimir is TPing though. This could be a pentakill.
Getting forced off. Yep. Here comes Hero. Oh, well, he should have let him have that lantern, but oh well. As they have fended off the Baron.
Not the greatest decision ever.
Very
he came in on 2 HP and
he's
very
flat.
far away.
He's almost full health again.
Yeah, fair enough. And now they can go for the Baron. Swan is here as well.
Yeah.
Now another TP. FTV, very far away.
FTV will be trying. This is a strong place for Set to fight. Set in a Baron pit, I should say. Pretty spooky. Bubble Bubble does not land. And in the end, Baron will live to worm another day.
Nice. Yeah, so now it's all about Dragon, Baron. Everyone will abandon Baron. Baron will be very happy to live a little bit longer, worm a little bit longer. And now Dragon is here. Elder Dragon. And EVOS could actually look for a trade here. EVOS could potentially go for Baron against Elder Dragon trade. And
ever good.
It's not great, but it might be able to accelerate this game a little bit. Okay, it looks like
Baron started up again.
Straight back to Baron,
oh, there's the hook straight onto the Zoe though. And he goes into the team after the flash. Getting a lot done, but it's not quite enough yet. Rika with a big shield. B has to run. But in the back line, it's Vladimir. And that is a swift ace. Yep. And that will be the game, the series, to EVOS.
So I'm really not sure why they went for that. Okay, let's just draw battle lines again. We just start from scratch because we want to fight against level 18 Vladimir. Well, let's go.
Totally. Great decision.
Why?
And EVOS.
We saw Vladimir speed through the backline and murder everyone.
Yep, and once EVOS had their real team, they did look pretty dominant. There were a few holes in their game that definitely could get exposed by a better team. But in this one, TV did not stand up to the test.
Yeah, Son had a pretty off day. I think I really want to see him. His Lee Sin left a lot to be desired. Parker is still looking very, very out of sorts in the mid lane. A very bad performance in the first game. Not great in the second game either. Luckily for them, their top laner was miles ahead of Rika, even though Rika actually had played a good game in game 2. But overall, better laning phase, better overall play. Also, the champion pool, having Vladimir in your wheelhouse is very strong in this matter, where Vladimir is basically only a red side champ and only like a counter pick into certain comps. And they counter picked him into set and punished the set first pick once again.
Yep, as we do so often see, the set first pick going very, very poorly. Now we do have to select an MVP for Game 3. The initial reaction is Hero, but I don't know if we actually can.
He made a lot of mistakes in the side lanes, but that said, he still was the most important player.
Yeah. It's him or
it's a little bit of it's weird because of the champion, right? It's still just Vladimir, but he picked the champ and he got through laning phase. So
I think Hero.
I feel like you have to give it to Hero, even though he played some very questionable mid game side waves or pushed in the side waves a little bit too aggressively. Got punished, sometimes even got his return kill and bought a lot of time for his team and applied a lot of pressure. So I think overall it's Hero, or TH as he's called now. So double MVP for the series coming in and showing everyone why But 1 should not be played.
Please don't play But 1 again, EVOS. That was super, super bad. But we will have a little bit more of a hype series in the next one. Flash will be on the Rift. So that's exciting. We have any sort of closing thoughts about this series? FTV, not mapless.
Yeah, exciting. They won again. So the first team of the season to get up to 10 losses, but they didn't go 0-10, which is already an improvement. They showed some better early games. I think overall this showed us that they are the stronger early game team compared to EVOS, which is a great sign for them. They just need to work on their compositions a little bit more, in my opinion, and figure out a way how to transition leads into teamfight wins, because that's where they really struggled this season, the series. Even from ahead, even with a super strong bot laner and top laner in game 2, they couldn't win any team fights. So teamfight coordination is probably the number one thing on their agenda to get back into more like competitive split, maybe, or being competitive with the other teams, because right now it doesn't look super great for them.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how EVOS continues to push on this split. Definitely shaky, putting some serious doubts on whether or not they can make a playoffs run. Definitely looking like the weaker of the three teams that are sort of contending for fourth so far. But we'll have to see how they do bounce back. Continuing on in the bracket, it might have just been a bit of an off day. But we'll be. I don't know how long the break's going to be, considering how many tech issues we've had. But it's probably going to be about 20 minutes.
Yep.
25, something like that. But we'll see you then. We really do appreciate everyone watching, whether you're here for us or just for the VCS. We appreciate it regardless. If you do scroll down, there are a few ways you can support us. We try and do our absolute best, but anything you can give would be super, super appreciated. It would mean a lot. But regardless, I've been Everyday. With me has been Yulwei, and we'll be bringing you the second series of tonight in probably about 25 minutes. There'll be a timer on screen once we know. See you guys very soon.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.